Good evening, everybody, and welcome to fourth and final edition of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Swartland Tastings. Welcome to the beautiful town of Riebeek Kasteel and the phenomenal little wine shop, well, not so little actually, wine shop of the Wine Collective here in Riebeek Kasteel. We've got some awesome wines coming up with some cool winemakers spanning the breadth of the Swartland. So in the last three editions, we've been sort of centered around either the Paardeberg or Kasteelberg, but here we've got Cliffenberg from just down the road here, right up to Schenkfontein and Tesselonga up near Piketberg. So a lot more different terroirs to talk about tonight, so very, very cool. A really good list of wines. I can't remember them all, so I've written them down here. Tonight, again, please send your questions through on the little chat. Either Ansel or Stefan's going to try and let me know if you've got some great questions. What have we got? Maras. Martin, how are you? Are you well?
Good, surviving.
Yeah, good to
Friday.
see you. It's Friday, yes.
Difficult to work this time.
It is a struggle, yeah.
On the end of the week, but
I'm looking forward to your best English.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've studied a few dictionaries during the week, so it should be. And I had 2 beers, so that loosens it all up.
Exactly
so,
right. Yeah. Well, in 2 beers' time, I become fluent in Afrikaans as well, so that could be an interesting little juxtaposition.
It's going to be interesting.
All right, guys, let's go to the video, I think. Hello, mate. Cool. Yeah, cool. Thanks. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for that. Martinez, it's awesome that you picked me up. I've been looking all over for you, so it's hugely lucky that you picked me up. We've got a tasting happening in the called the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Swartland in November, and I was hoping that Maras can't be part of it.
Awesome. Sounds interesting. You know, the past few months, I got into a lot of bad habits of transporting wine, and you're in luck today, mate, because I've always got something around wrapped up.
Just under the seat?
Exactly. Maras, it's obviously easy on the pocket and easy on the palate. So
awesome.
If you can add that to the tasting, that would be great.
No, perfect. I'll take it out of the paper bag for the tasting.
And if you don't finish it all, please.
No, it won't be a problem.
Please
bring that. No, it won't be a problem.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Like that.
Awesome, mate. So your prohibition days over? Sort of.
Yeah, no,
running illegal booze around.
Yeah, I mean, that was I was moving quite a lot of wine. I kind of missed the days where Cyril used to talk to us on a Sunday night and tell us that we're not allowed to sell wine anymore.
Tuck us into bed.
Exactly. So
bedtime story.
Much tougher selling wine when it's legal than when it's illegal. But yeah, we're getting there.
Cool. So you introduced yourself to me at least as Martin, but your name's actually Martinez, isn't it? Or is
no, it's even longer than that.
Even longer?
Yeah. It's Sarel Martinez Lamprecht. So
perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I was always. I know the nice trendy thing to do is put your name on your bottle these days, but I don't think Sarel Martinez Lamprecht would have stood out on the shelf.
I think it would have stood out, to be fair. Just a little around the
wrap around label. Yeah, no.
Maras, talk to us about Maras. Well, talk to us about the name. Where does that come from?
So Maras. I mean, I started studying engineering, Stellenbosch University. So I mean, all your forms is always Sarel Martinez Lamprecht. Quite serious. You can't really talk to each other because you're more into mathematics than making friends. So. And in nighttime, my friends would call me Maras, and I kind of liked the Maras guy more than I liked the Sarel Martinez Lamprecht engineer guy.
You had an alter ego.
Exactly. So the Maras guy was the easygoing guy, and I enjoyed him more. So I stuck with that.
Okay. And where do you get your fruit from? I mean, Swartland's a big place.
Yeah. So I moved into the area when Adi was still had color in his hair. So it was quite
1984,
something like that. And quite interestingly, Franziska Schreiber, we studied together. So
okay, cool.
I got hold of a little pocket of Chenin Blanc, which they call the Tiernes, right on top of the Paardeberg there, right up in the valley.
Okay.
But the interesting story about this vineyard is that, so now this vineyard probably gives about 5 tons of grapes, and more or less in the same area, I take the whole block, and more or less in the same time, Jasper Wickens moves into the area. Now, we always have this harvest party, and this specific harvest party, they hook up. Now, the next vintage, I arrive at this block, and there's 2 rows are cornered out, but not the best 2 rows are cornered out. I'm like, what's this? No, this is for Jasper.
Oh, so Jasper got the best
After getting involved. And now, so
with the form,
but it gets worse. But it gets Swartland. Exactly, but it gets worse. So then they get engaged. The next vintage I get there, another 4 rows gone. then they get married, another 4 rows gone.
So this is the only bottle you've made.
Yeah. So I've probably got like 4 vines still in my name, and
each producing a ton of fruit.
And they obviously had their first child now. So I bet when I arrive there in 2021, there's going to be fuck all of that left.
He means fuck all. That's okay apparently. Los Toros.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I mean, I get so many fancy people that come up to me and ask me Le Trois. They think it's Le Trois, some fancy cuvee.
Really?
Special select. So
you get fancy people coming up and talking to you.
Exactly.
Now I know you're lying.
But anyway, yeah, Los Trois, that's just plain Afrikaans and Los Trois, loose bunch of grapes.
Okay.
And the interesting thing, dryland farming, obviously Chenin Blanc sometimes sets quite compact. The bunches are quite compact.
Okay.
But this specific...
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, it's got its pros and cons. I mean, obviously you don't get as much even ripeness in a bunch when it's set as tightly, because you get a lot of over ripeness on the outside and more under ripeness on the inside. But
would that add complexity, or is it just the bull egg?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, obviously complexity, but it's just how it is. I mean,
yeah, I guess so. Okay.
But this specific block, obviously, with limited moisture in the soil, the berries never really grow big, so they really loosely arranged on the bunch.
Okay.
So that's why we call it the Los Trois, the loose bunch of grapes. And interestingly enough, obviously when they loosely set, you get lots more airflow and lots more penetration of sunlight through the bunch. So the bunch actually ripens much more evenly through, which then obviously gives you, in this wine specifically, more yellow fruit components. So it's a nice, lovely ripe peach, ripe apricot, almost that pithiness.
It's quite powerful wine.
Exactly.
I mean, you look at it, and there's not much color in it, but it's got a huge amount of flavor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and is that sort of maybe the small berries as well? There's more skin to juice ratio, so there's more sort of solids and flavor to the actual juice.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely more grippy. I mean, it's not as, I would say, I call this the rebel style. I mean, this is this guy in school, which his t-shirt is not neatly tucked in, his hair is oily, he's smoking behind the school. That's this kind of wine. It's a bit rough.
Did Stompy make this wine?
It's a bit rough around the edges, but I mean, that's kind of what we get in the Swartland. Because of the excessive heat, the skins tend to be a bit more thicker than they usually are.
In other parts of the country? Yeah. And why is that? Because it's just hotter here?
So it's kind of like the skin is a bit tougher to kind of protect the inside of the grape, and that obviously adds more phenolic or more crunchiness to. So you'll find it's a bit more crunchy, a bit more textural than you'll find a Chenin Blanc growing next to the coast.
Yeah, I mean, it's got what we call in wine structure, in terms of sort of, it's got building blocks. I mean, it's got flavor, but it's actually got sort of tactile feel. You feel it moving around your mouth. It's quite a substantial wine, but it's not heavy. It's not fat like me. It's actually quite really well balanced as well. How do you manage that balance? Is it just through pure ability and skill?
Exactly. I mean, obviously nature gives you what obviously ends up. So when I always say, when the right varietal is planted on the right spot, there's not much you can do. So we try and pick this in 2 different sets, and that adds a bit of zestiness when we pick a bit earlier, and then also lovely fruit, which obviously also comes from the granitic soils it grows on. So
awesome.
It kind of just happens. We figure the funky stuff out afterwards. But yeah.
It's much easier making wine from good fruit than bad fruit.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
So,
exactly.
That's why we talk about vineyards so much. Stelvin or screw cap, why have you got one of those on?
Yeah, my philosophy with Maras is just, it's that kind of wine where when you go for the weekend, you put in 3 cases of wine.
Yes.
You knock it open and you finish it. It's easy, accessible. It drinks exceptionally well. It suits the pocket.
And we drank half a bottle of this while we looked for a corkscrew for the other one.
Exactly. I'm just sitting there in the corner waiting for everybody else to open their wine. So exactly. So no, it's easy, accessible. Just drink it.
No, perfect, man. 2020 Maris, get on board. Thanks, man.
Awesome. Cheers. Gezondheid.
Cool. Next, we have Craig Hawkins, Clint, from Banditskloof up near Pietermaritzkloof Pass. Let's go to the video. Clint.
Hey, David.
How are you, man?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Where have you come from?
I've come from Piketberg.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a walk, but no one picked me up. I'm here to give you an invitation for Testalonga to a tasting in November called the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Swartland.
Excellent.
Wine, olive oil, all the good stuff. I was hoping to put Testalonga in the tasting. Would that be cool?
Sounds good. What do you need from me? Obviously wine.
Wine, yeah.
I've got some wine. I've actually got in the bucket.
Of course.
Yeah, so this is our Skin Contact 2019.
Have you got anything good though?
Only that.
Just this one.
Bottom of the barrel.
Oh shit. Okay, I'll have to do.
So we're gonna walk now.
Back to the Powderberg. It should take me what, 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't offer you a lift, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, I know. I think you're xenophobic. So see you, mate.
Okay, cheers. Bye.
That's old khaki, Craig, that is. Craig Hawkins, welcome to Riebeek Kasteel. Welcome to the big town of Riebeek Kasteel. I know you're on the farm out in the Piketberg. You might not have seen buildings with roofs that much, so welcome.
No, there's lights here, the big
Electricity,
lights.
electricity and everything.
No, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for, nice to see you.
No, likewise. Testalonga obviously is and Colour, your wife's brand,
Yes.
but you've worked at other places in the Swartland before that, in the
Yep.
Powderberg. So it's not like you've just started 5 minutes ago. So how many vintages in the Swartland have you done?
We've done 13 vintages now, so
Yeah,
it's
right.
starting to get along. I know there's a few people in this room who've done a lot more than that,
Yeah,
but for us, it's a good step, a good milestone actually. We're happy with the progress we're going, where we're going, and where it's going. Just before we start, I think it's a momentous occasion. Mr. Jürgen Gijs, I'd just like to say cheers to those watching. Mr. Gijs got engaged this week, Mr. from Interlego Wines.
Cheers to Jürgen and to Priska, who's the unfortunate lady.
Impossible things do happen.
Cheers to Jürgen and Priska. Yeah.
But Testalonga, we've been going since 2008, and it's been we started with 2 barrels and we've grown a bit more than that, and we've kind of haven't really grown one wine particularly big. We've got many different wines. So we make on average anything from between 15 to 18 wines in a vintage.
Just the 18 wines.
Just 18, just to confuse. I like to keep Carla busy, so she loves that, and Sarvis on their toes. But it's a good run.
Cool, man. Nice one. And this was the first wine you made, wasn't it? Was the first label under Testalonga?
Yes. So we started in 2008 just with this label. So you can see on the label, I do the labels myself, so it's just a black and white label. It's quite rough around the edges, but I like the identity of the label. It speaks, to my character. There's nothing really coherent there. There's a bit of Spanish, Latin, Italian, French, so it's even English. And in the middle of the label, when I started designing the labels, I had a white piece of paper, and I just put, I wanted to put something that, what is this wine about? So I put the Chenin Blanc made with Skin Contact. So I thought, no, that's a bit boring. So I thought, what are we actually doing? And then, the way we make wine is I make wine just from grapes. Mm-hmm. I want to showcase the grape without all of the other additives that you can do. So in the beginning, it was just made from grapes and still is just made from grapes. And the only thing we add is a little bit of sulfur at bottling, and that's it. The that's it's got its friends and the foes, but this is the way
it's quite a I mean, in South Africa, that's quite a revolutionary practice, though, isn't it? I mean, it's getting more and more common now, but I mean, 13 years ago,
for sure.
Probably not a lot of people doing that.
No, definitely. And it's not, I wasn't doing it just to be different. I was doing it because I wanted to see where you can and can't go with wine.
Yeah.
And I want to make wine. I'm not from a winemaking family, and I come from Natal, where we drink green mambas, and moved down here. And wine for me is it's a privilege. So, coming in to wine, it was great. I had no one talking in my ear saying this is how you should do it, how you shouldn't do it. So I just said, I traveled a lot. I put the Irish harp in the middle of my label. I've got a grandfather who was Irish. It's unfortunately under the ground, but I've got that passport that allowed me to travel, and it allowed me to explore and meet people that were making wines like white wines fermented on the skins, which was completely different to South Africa. So I came back, I bought that ideas, and I started it.
Cool. And skin contact, I mean, how naked do you get with the wine?
On the back labels, there's always some quirky comment. I don't know what I put here. I said mutation, it's the key to our evolution. So it really is. But on the one vintage, I put the, skin contact. Without skin contact, none of us would be here. So it's I like to have a bit of that quirky humor that we've got. But skin contact, I think, is something.
Maybe talk to us about skin contact.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
It's not you getting naked in the wine, is it?
No, I think, look, skin maceration on white wines is something. It's one of the. I make many different wines, but what I love about skin maceration on white wines, it adds another dimension to wines that you won't necessarily find on a normal white wine, which you definitely won't find. But so for those that are just looking for that something a little bit different, this wine offers that. Yeah. But also, it pairs really well with food, and I think we sell 99% of our wines to restaurants and export nearly. You sell our wine locally, but I mean that we don't sell you a hell of a lot, but we sell a little bit to a lot of people, and I try and let the people experiment with the wine, with the food and things in it. That's, I think, the interesting part.
But when you talked about what skin macerated wines,
skin maceration. So for those, skin maceration is just when you ferment. You take most white wine, comes into your cellar, you press it, you separate the juice from the skins, right? Red wine, you either destem it or crush it, and you get the color and the flavor from the skins.
So you ferment with the skins to get all the
with the skins. For this, I'm making it like a red wine. Okay. So it's just fermented on the skins to get. So he's got a slightly golden hue. In the early days, I was going 2 years on the skins. I was going 6 months on the skins. I was going sometimes too far. In reflection, I look back and I'm not afraid to make mistakes. Yeah. And I think that was the important part, to learn from the mistakes and try and now refine it into something elegant.
I think that's a really interesting point. I mean, making mistakes is one thing, but repeating the mistakes or not learning from the mistakes is where people get into trouble, I guess. But I mean, obviously you're quite cerebral with your wine. You think about it a lot. You sort of ruminate on what you're doing. It's a philosophical pursuit as well as an agricultural one or just a nourishment one.
Behind the scenes we work very hard, but I don't take myself too seriously, but I do take what I do seriously. But I don't want people to only look at wine and swirl it with their little pinky like this and stuff. And I want people to look at wine and try and learn from it. And I want to add value to somebody who's experienced drinking a bottle of wine, not just something like, that you can get anywhere.
And that's super interesting in sort of macro sense, but in the micro sense, what do you want people to take out from this particular one? What sort of perspective do you want people to look at?
99% of people, particularly in South Africa, wouldn't have necessarily tasted a white wine made like a red one. That's why I wanted to show it today. I mean, we make a lot of different wines, but this is something that's a little bit different, that something that you're not going to taste every day. But what I want people to realize is that there's a whole other world out there, something interesting. You might not like it, you might love it, but this is my passion, and this is something that I'm trying to showcase.
But there are other options from the wines that they're currently drinking. So I noticed you've got skin on the label, you've got Tessalonga on the label, obviously you've got Swartland, wine of South Africa, all the kind of stuff you have to have, but you haven't got Chenin Blanc anywhere on the label.
No.
Is that because Chenin Blanc is irrelevant in this wine? It's more about the farm or the technique or the region?
The reason I do it, I mean, I'm if you look at me, you might not think I'm actually quite old school. I like the tradition of, I worked in France for a lot, and I love the old French tradition, the what they call terroir. And I don't want to showcase the I wanted to showcase the spirit of our region. I don't want to, you know, immediately when I put a Chenin Blanc, if I put Chenin Blanc on the label, people think, okay, this is what it should taste like because I've tasted other Chenin Blancs. So I'm just showing this is our region. I want to showcase our region, which is the Swartland first and foremost, and then I put skin, which is obviously I need to call it something. So I put skin. No, because when we started, I only had one wine. It was Al Bandito. I started making all the other 18 wines, and I needed another name for it.
Well, I get asked a lot, where does Al Bandito come from?
So Al Bandito is Testa Longa, means long face in Italian. So there's a Mr. Antonio Perino. He makes wine in Dolce Acqua. He gave me my epiphany moment of he introduced me to the first skin macerated white wine that I tasted, and I asked him if I can use his nickname.
And he's sort of on the Riviera between, sort of on the border with France. So sort of if you look at Italy, there's a booth sort of up on the knee.
So actually, I was supposed to be in Italy now, actually doing a tasting with him, which would have been cool. But Testa Longa is also a bandit from Sicily. So I called the wine Al Bandito because I came back here. It was very different to what was going on normally in 2008. So, you know, it was orange, it was tannic, it was different. And so I called it the Bandit or something. And then we introduced obviously the Baby Bandito range in 2015.
Cool, man.
Yeah, that's the name, man.
And this is now one of the more sort of middle of the road wines you make, I guess.
No, there's nothing. This is my most special. But you know, it's our first, it's our baby. This is
this vineyard's from the Paderberg?
Yeah, this is from the old.
You're based in the Piketberg, and you've planted vineyards up there now?
Yeah, we've got 4 hectares there on Bandit's Kloof, and we'll start introducing those wines. The next harvest, the first grape coming off that farm will be 2021, so just around the corner. Grenache and Grenache Noir, Grenache Blanc and Grenache Noir, and we will. Yeah, we'll see. We're only going to bottle what we think is the best, and if it's not good enough, it won't be in Bandit's Kloof because they're young vines. I don't want to just.
I'll drink it. It's fine. I'll drink it.
Yeah. So that's it. But this vineyard we will always try and hold on to until we go.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah. Thanks, Craig. Thanks for bringing it. And cheers. Good
nice
to see you. And congratulations to Jürgen again.
Yeah.
And commiserations to Prisca. Yeah. Who's next? We've got next Werner from Riebeek. Yeah, let's do that. Awesome.
David, hi.
How's it, man?
Very well. Great to see you. Welcome to Riebeek Valley Wine Company.
Thank you very much. I have an invitation here for you.
Oh, fantastic.
For a tasting we're doing in November.
Yeah.
It's called the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Swartland. It's a tasting of wine and olive oil. And we're hoping that you guys would be a part of it.
For sure. Awesome. I think I've got just the wine for you. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Why don't you try this raw Marsanne?
Marsanne sounds absolutely amazing. Marsanne, cool, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the invite.
Cool. We'll see you in November.
Will do.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Werner, cheers, man.
Cheers. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing this beautiful wine.
Fantastic.
Marsanne.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Marsanne.
Look, we at Riebeek Valley Wine Company, we've been very fortunate over the years with our growers that they always are willing to experiment.
Okay.
And with the growing move into more sort of varietals.
Mostly with grapes, though, huh?
We hope so.
Yeah. Okay.
The rest I can't say. And but we've done, with a growing sort of interest in more sort of Rhone varietals and specifically in the Swartland and with how well it works.
Yeah.
We've asked the guys to play around with a few varietals, start to plant Marsanne, Grenache Blanc, and quite a few other Rhone style varietals. And what we're doing with the raw range is and raw means rare. Raw. Later night it's a roar, like me with my R, but and with my name. But we try to showcase sort of these individual varietals because a lot of people don't know that a lot of these wines go into blends traditionally.
Yeah.
So we want to show something a bit different, showing the individual varietal that people can get to know them.
Cool. And Marsanne, what are we expecting from a Marsanne? What are we looking for in the glass? I mean,
what I find different from I always find a bit more sort of almost oiliness in the Marsanne that we produce.
Yeah.
On the nose, there's a bit of sort of almonds, apricots, those kind of flavors, a bit of spice. But generally, for me, if I compare with what we do in the cellar, the Grenache Blanc is a bit tighter, a bit cleaner, where the Marsanne adds a bit of that sort of oiliness, almost like a Semillon sometimes.
Yeah, it's quite exotic on the palate, isn't it?
It is.
It's got a real sort of like potpourri sort of feel to it.
It does. It's got that sort of spiciness and
and it's sort of mouth-filling as well.
It is, yeah.
Sort of as you say, there's an oiliness, the width of the wine. It's not like a really skinny, thin one like a Sauvignon Blanc. It's got real lots of width and breadth. And
That's actually what I like of my son, because a lot of wines are a bit sort of more linear and focused.
Yes.
Where with my son, you have a bit more richness, and specifically with some types of food, this for me works really well. And with this style of wine, where we also go a bit more traditional in the winemaking, well, we're trying to. The wine then starts to showcase that, and it goes very well with food, with some types of food.
Oh, what kind of food are you drinking this with?
I've actually done it with fish.
Don't say breakfast. That joke's been used.
Well, I haven't. You're giving me ideas now. And so we know what to expect next time.
No,
right?
exactly right.
Yeah.
No, but
Actually, with something a sort of more meaty type of fish, yellowtail, that kind of thing, it actually works really well. That oiliness goes very well.
So oily wine, oily fish?
Yeah, it does. Especially if you lift it up with a bit of, actually a guy once sort of showed me that you use a bit of wine, something like Masana, a bit of olive oil to baste the fish when you braai it.
Yes.
Very slowly. And then it actually, it comes through. Then the fish shows, and the flavors of the fish shows a lot better.
I can imagine this wine sort of handling lots of flavors, like a turmeric or a Cape Malay spice, quite nicely as well.
For sure. If you go a bit more sort of Malayan, that kind of thing, I think it will work really well with those types of food as well.
No, very cool. So 2018, how many, is this a new wine for you guys, or?
It's pretty new. We've only started selling it in our wine emporium next door since October. Is it
an emporium?
It's an emporium.
Okay,
it's not a wine. It's not a wine shop. I've been.
It's an emporium.
I've been knocked over the fingers many times.
What's the difference between a wine shop and an emporium?
You come and have a look, and I'll show you.
I'm not sure if that's a promise or a threat.
Well, we'll have to find out.
Yeah, was that? Need some more wine.
The other guys will warm you up.
Emporium, okay. Yeah. I didn't realize that was an emporium in Riebeek Castile, but
I'm things happen. Things are still happening.
I've only been here for 7 years, so I'm still learning things about South Africa.
Yes, but you must come and visit a bit more.
Maybe talk to us about Riebeek cellars.
Yeah, look, we're almost, I would say, part of the old guard. We've been around 79 years. Next year we'll be 80 years old.
Yeah, right.
And we've had to move with the times, and I think that's one of the lovely things about the company, that the growers are quite experimental. They're willing to try new things. They're willing to go out in the market. So we've planted new varietals. We've actually set up a couple of years ago. The team have set up a boutique winery, a small winery within our system, where we make all of these wines. So we've appointed a winemaker, and in future she'll be sort of the torchbearer for these wines. Should he not know?
Yeah.
And so we can really focus and make better wines.
You can take Friday.
I can have a beer. I can have a beer afterwards. Yeah, and relax. Much better. So that works well, and we've and it's a slow start, but it's growing really nicely, and it gives us the opportunity, because we've got some really great old vines, and we want to embrace what's happening in the Swartland.
I mean, you have access to a lot of fruit, haven't you?
We do.
You've got a lot of growers, and so I mean, how many wines are you making now? I mean, you're making, like, rough guess?
Probably 15, 16 in this private label. So we're making loads of different wines.
So 5 less than Craig.
Yeah. We don't want to be first. So I actually want to make a list. So we'll work on that. If I can do more, we can do less.
Yeah. Precise and
Preferably. Yeah. So we do. I mean, we've got quite a few ranges, and the RAR sort of is a new label that we brought in. We only sell it from our wine emporium, just making small volumes, and every year will be a bit different.
So this is only available next door?
Yes, it's only available next door. Yeah, and every year will be different. So we'll look at the quality, what's good.
Oh, so it's one wine every year, that's it?
No, we make about 3 or 4 of them. We make a Grenache Blanc, and for 18 we had a Grenache Blanc and a Marsanne. The Grenache Blanc did very well, and a Mourvèdre and a Cinza and a Grenache Noir. So but from vintage to vintage, we'll look at what's good, and we'll bottle that.
Yeah, very cool.
So we've got a few. We just tasted the new vintages, and we've got a few surprises lined up.
What's coming, or is it a secret?
Let's
I have to go to the emporium to find out.
Yeah.
I have to buy a ticket, get a stamp, I'll get a T-shirt and everything.
Yeah, we're playing. We did
as long as it's black, I'm happy.
We make we actually we did very well on a show, on the Young Wine Show last year with the Shiraz Mourvèdre blend.
Okay, cool.
So we're going to do a special bottling of that, and so we're playing around with interesting pockets that we can then sell.
No, it's good to see the life in the old guys as well. That's
awesome. Yeah. We need to breathe a bit of new life in, and again, as this, we're spoiled with lots of old vineyards, so we're playing around with a bit of old vines as well. Shannon next year, and that's a lot. We have this huge sort of treasure trove of products, and also we owe it to our growers to do better, you know, to make better quality wines and
express their vineyards more clearly, I suppose.
For sure, for sure. Yeah. No. But what's interesting, I've worked in the area when I started working. I worked as a viticulturist in the area, and it's interesting to see from it's sort of a circle completing, and it's interesting to see from then to now how things have changed. And but the same spirit has always been within our growers.
So when did you start in the area? What year?
In 90, as I say, oh God, 93, around there.
Okay.
I've got a Peter the other day sent me a nice photo of us in 94, I think, standing in a vineyard, looking much more trim and slim than we do now. So
I'd be shocked if it was the other way around. 27 years of Swartland brides are going to take a toll, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I can only handle like 1 or 2 a month. That's it. I have to go run back to Cape Town with
I can imagine
with my tail between my legs.
So I presume you're not sleeping over tonight.
Oh, I am.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, I'm not sure how much sleep I'm going to get, to be fair, but
that's why I'm asking.
I'm not driving home. Yes. Bernard, cheers, man. Thank you for bringing it.
Pleasure.
Really appreciate it. It was great to taste something interesting and new, and best of luck with it all.
Thank you for guiding us through all of this.
Oh, easy. No.
Pleasure.
Who have we got next? Wildehurst, Rian, up the road, just a bit. How far away are we?
Oh, about 60 kilometers.
Yeah, and we're going to take you there right now.
Hey, David.
How's it, man?
Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, man. Good.
Welcome.
Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I just walked from River Castile. It's a long way. Absolutely. Okay. I'm here to give you an invitation to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Swartland. It's a tasting in November. Wine and olive oil. It's going to be awesome.
Okay. Well, thanks, man.
Could Wildehurst come?
Yep. Do you need a bottle?
I just bought a bottle.
Here we go.
What's this?
This is the Beauty 2019 exceptional wine.
Well, we hope so.
We'll see.
Absolutely. Nice one. Thank you very much.
Okay, man.
Cheers. See you in November.
Okay.
Nice one. Ciao. Oh, that was beautifully done. I'm not sure if you saw that video, but the address here says One Main Road.
The only one.
And that's,
we are there.
Right at the start, huh?
Yep.
Very cool.
Only one in Koeringberg.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tell us about Wildehurst.
Well, Wildehurst is a boutique small seller in Koeringberg.
Where is that?
Koeringberg.
I didn't know where it was until we did that video.
Explain to you, I grew up in Piketberg, and I never in my whole...
Okay.
In my
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Stefan's doing some stuff with the microphones and things. Hopefully the sound's good. Can you hear me? That's no good. Hello. Hello. I'm good now. This works. Hello. And then just hello. Oh, sorry. Just a slight little technical glitch here, kids. Have a drink of the Wildehurst Pioneer while we sort this out, and we'll be back. We're back. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smooth as silk, that was.
So anyway, Koeringberg.
How do I say it? Koeringberg. It's like,
Koeringberg,
is Koering like wheat or is it king? I get confused.
No. It's not Koeringberg.
Okay.
It's Koeringberg.
This is why I'm asking.
Yes.
Yeah, don't tease me.
No. Be patient. So I grew up in Piketberg.
Yes.
So Piketberg is just a stone's throw away from Koeringberg. But as I grew up, I never even visited Koeringberg because it's tucked away.
Yeah. It's off the N7. Why would
you
go
there?
N7
between Moeresburg and Piketberg.
Okay.
Beautiful place. You know, it's unique. It's actually developing a little bit. So there's some
look out.
some property development over there. Yeah.
Get on the property.
Especially
property 24.
Especially now with the COVID, a lot of guys from Cape Town bought some places there and stayed there to do their work over.
Okay.
Beautiful place, yeah.
Okay. And how did you end up there from Piketberg?
You know, I've been in the wine industry since 1998, and I worked in the Swartland and got married with a girl from South America.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
I was out of the country for a long time.
And she was wanted by the government, and Kuringberg's the only place you can hide.
That's the thing. She's actually Italian descendant, so you know that's even worse.
Okay.
Because we've got some problems there in the southern part of Italy also. But anyway,
all those El Banditos.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing. Came back to South Africa and always wanted to invest in the wine industry again, you know, in my own business and all the things. So I ended up with Joanne at Wildhurst, and we're partners now in the business.
Very cool, man. And Vionia 2019?
Vionia 2019, you know, we selected this white grapes and white wine because it's planted just in front. I saw that you had the old pastory, that's Joanne's house.
Okay.
The vineyard in front of the house is the block of Vionia. And it's a round variety, and it's doing exceptionally well in the climate that we have there.
Very cool. Yeah. And what are the soils around them? I know nothing about the terroir.
No, terroir is basically
it's sort of not Piketberg. It's not.
Yeah,
it's its own little place, isn't it?
It's typical. It's typical Swartland, I would say, but it's not that weathered granite soils. It's more your shale soils with your red clay.
Okay.
So we do have a lot of clay.
Yeah.
And helps a lot with the water retention.
So is clay the subsoil and then the shale's on top?
Shale is on top, yeah. It's we had a couple of difficult years with the drought because the clay is actually you know, it becomes very tight and very dry.
Yes.
So now with this year that we have so much water in wintertime, we're actually looking very much forward to the coming vintage because quality is looking amazing. We're happy, and I think we will have a little bit more volume available this year, yeah.
I noticed that the alcohol on here is 12%. That's
12%.
Quite low for a Viognier.
See, Viognier, the thing is that what we want to achieve in the Viognier is that because it's an aromatic variety, you can either go to the more aromatic side, maybe more to the muscat kind of characters if you pick it riper. We want to go more to the greener side, and we like the white stone fruit aromas. You get some lemon peel there, and then you also get a little bit of that smokiness that you have from the natural ferment and also the time in barrel.
I thought that was just some guys outside.
Oh, no, that's for later.
Having some roll your own.
No, so what we want to achieve the minerality, the balance, the freshness. I don't want to overpower the aromatic component more to that muscat kind of character that Viognier can give you when it's quite overripe.
I mean, so some of the accusations of low alcohol wines, and we've got someone who's going to talk about, who's spoken about it in the past. We'll get to him in a second. They said like they're a bit light, they're a bit thin. This is not light nor thin.
No.
By any stretch. I mean, you wouldn't even if you didn't have that on the label, you wouldn't even know it's 12%.
No.
It's 13.5.
See,
it's fine.
After the fermentation, it spent another 6 months in older barrels, and we do quite a lot of lees stirring, just to get that volume and that oiliness, like the other guy said. So that's what we're aiming for. We aim for volume, and even with a low alcohol, it show you can achieve it.
And it's a wine of power and presence and real impact. Yeah.
And even because we picked the grapes so early, we have quite a nice natural acidity, and it just adds to that freshness of the wine.
Yeah, and the freshness is a real key because it makes you want more of it, not less of it.
Definitely,
It doesn't defeat you. It perks you up and puts you at the front of the seat.
Exactly, and you know, also because we're so close to the west coast. You know,
how close are you to the west coast?
Well, if the crow just flies directly, we're probably about 40 kilometers away. So that's quite close. If you stand on top of Koeringberg, the mountain, it's not a high mountain. It's about 200 meters high.
It's a hill.
It's a hill. It's a hill. But if you stand on top of it, on top of the hill, you can see the west coast. So you see Eysterfontein, Paternoster, more to you.
But it is a pretty flat part of the world, isn't it?
It is. But it contributes. Now that cool Atlantic air just helps a lot with cooling down the evening temperatures. And then we're also very fortunate to have the Berg River just crossing about 10 kilometers away from it.
Yeah, nice. So how does that add? Don't sweat. So it's fine.
So no.
I know I'm asking a lot of questions, but you don't get arrested at the end of it. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, the Berg River, you know, like they say in Bordeaux, the left bank and the right bank.
Yes.
We're on the left bank of the Berg River, so we're on the good bank.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just minus the gravel soils.
Yeah, no, just joking. But you know, it also contributes with the fogginess and cooling down the temperatures, daytime temperatures in the summertime. So it helps, you know.
And is there any other producers in Kronenberg at the moment, or are they just sort of the prices are too high now?
No.
It's all high rises.
They can't compete with us.
It's all high rises and property developers.
No, we're unique. We're unique, and yeah, we call ourselves the biggest little seller in Kronenberg.
You take a few words out of that, and it's still true, isn't it? And what else do you produce up there? Or is this the only wine? What do you? It doesn't sound like it's the only one.
No, it's not the only one. The Viognier was actually planted with some Shiraz vines in front of the old pastorie.
Okay.
Joanne traveled a lot in France, and like I understood, she actually wanted to plant a lot of olive trees. Okay. And then she also invested in vines, and she's very fond of Rhone and the Rhone varieties. She actually loved the southern part of Rhone, and ended up planting Viognier, Shiraz, and then our flagship wine is a blend of that two varieties with some Mourvedre and so also inside. And yeah, we do about 6 or 7 wines in total.
Okay, nice. You only got 10 to go to catch up to old mate up the road in Bicetre.
Almost there, yes, almost there. Come and visit. Yeah.
And how many years have you been going?
About 14 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so about 14 years and still going strong.
Yeah.
Business is looking good.
That's a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So nice established brand, and you know, the whole label, the whole idea and the feel about the wine is just to promote that authenticity and the natural style of making wine. We don't add any strange things, so just keep it plain and simple.
Very cool. If the guys at home are looking for a tasty yet powerful Viognier with a bit of freshness, then get on board. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks for the time.
No, thanks for bringing the wine, and thanks for your hospitality when I was up there.
Yeah, no.
I felt very welcome.
Okay. Well, happy to receive you.
Yeah, cool, man.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Cheers. Next, we have Frank from Org de Rac. Oh, he's in the back seats here, lurking. Oyster. Frank.
Morning, David.
Yeah, man. How are you?
Welcome here to Org de Rac.
Yeah, thanks very much. Very nice.
To see you.
Just sucking down a bit of bubbles.
Yeah, I thought you might enjoy it. And
yeah, please.
Freshen you up a little bit.
The road has made me very thirsty.
Okay, that's cool.
Awesome.
And have a nice West Coast oyster.
Oh, I'll have one of those for sure. Bicky lemon. Nice. It's nice.
That's good stuff.
That's good. That's very good. Thank you very much. I have an invitation for you.
Yes, there.
For a tasting we're doing in November, wine tasting, olive oil tasting, and we're hoping that Org de Rac could take part. Would that work?
That'll be great.
Perfect.
Thank you.
I don't suppose you've got a bottle of wine that I can take with me, though.
I do have, and
that's handy, isn't it?
Go for it. Enjoy it.
Merlot.
Yeah.
Org de Rac Merlot. Only the best. Perfect. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for coming.
No, pleasure. No, it's awesome.
Very short and sweet, but
yeah. Oh, we'll see you in November.
Cool.
Which way to Bicetre?
That way.
Okay, thanks, man.
Okay.
Cheers.
Ciao. Bye.
Frank, how are you, mate?
I'm doing well, though.
Did you bring any oysters for me today?
No.
They were really good. They were
Didn't
really
ask
tasty.
for it.
I didn't ask.
Yeah, they're running around oysters. You know, get so many people coming there these days, and everybody's in for a bowl.
You're just too busy for old mate David.
I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry.
Pardon
Unfortunate. Cheers, mate. Well,
cheers.
Cheers.
Nice
Welcome.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for bringing the wine. What have we got here? What are we drinking, bro?
We're drinking a...
No. That's not going to work.
That's not going to work. No, I've sort of brought a curveball along, you know, 'cause I run a sort of commercial operation. And
all the other guys aren't? They're just,
No,
they're just running like little
we have
artisanal rubbish. You're the commercial powerhouse.
Now, what I'm trying to tell you that Merlot is one of the sort of varietals that was sort of not successful in the Swartland. Masaki, my friend at Rubik, said, yeah, the Merlot doesn't work. And I said, well, I inherited 14 hectares. I'm going to make it work.
You're going to make a plan.
There's no way. But the beauty is I have 6 different clones. And working with Italian.
6 different clones?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And 4 Italian. I use them. The 2 French, I'm not interested because they bear too much.
So the French are bearing too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Italian ones is like Snoopy, and the soils are good for them. You know, we've got amazing farm there.
Yeah.
We're on the Berg River, on the other side of Kornberg, you know.
Okay.
And
just up the road from Old Mate, yes.
Yeah, and we got the amazing, it's like a wind trough there coming from the west coast.
Okay.
So our day and night differentiation is like from 36 to 18. So we've got a very bizarre climate, which really works well with Merlot, and I had to make it work. So I use the 4 Italian principal clones, and I make them differently.
Yes.
Keep them separate.
Yes.
And they differ. It's amazing. And they differ from the inclination from the hill, and the soils differ, but I have them repeated on the top of the hill. So I inherited the stuff.
Yeah.
Being one clone being duplicated at a higher level and at the bottom.
Yeah, right, okay.
So they do differ. Even the clones from those inclinations differ.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So I had to make the Merlot work, you know, as part of the Cabernet. So we're not quite in the Swartland melange of weird varietals. So
no, but you are in a sense, because I mean, not many other people in this one have Merlot, so you're sort of outside of the box in that sense.
Well, we actually on the edge of the Swartland. We're really at the line they wanted.
What happens afterwards, or are you just not talking about that? It's just like it's cliff edge.
Other guys. It gets hotter and it gets meaner and sunnier. But no, we're on that edge where we can do a few things with Merlot and a few other French classic Bordeaux varietals, which we're not really. We're trying to get back to the reality is we need to go more South Rowan styles. We're doing it, but it takes time.
I was at Shannon Vineyards recently.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about, I don't want to talk about Elgin too much because of the Swartland thing, but they make a very good Merlot there. And the Downs brothers swear by their Italian clones more than their French clones. And you're saying the same thing.
I actually went to the Vin Pro and I said, listen, guys, now taste these clones.
Yes.
And they actually wanted to take one of those clones off.
What guys were you talking to?
The who's who.
No, but I don't know who that is. Yeah. I want names, bro. I've got a pen. I've got a pen and everything.
I'm not at the Zondo Commission.
Oh, you know? But you're under oath.
Actually, the nicest one they wanted to take off the list. Now, I couldn't understand. I said, this is the best one, MO192. It really grows beautifully and it bears a lot of grapes. You got to throw off a little bit, otherwise it goes a bit. So they took that one off because it doesn't color well. So and they're pushing the French stuff, and I think it's a problem in South Africa. It's always been a problem. They want.
Who are these people? I want to know.
Well, it's the cooperative way of thinking. You know, go from 20, 30 tons. We're all making money. Honey, and the wine tastes like shit.
All right. So you can tell us after the camera stopped, and I'll put it out there anyway. It's fine. You'll be
and so I mentioned, I said, this is out of all these clones, this is the finest one. You just got to manage it.
Yeah, right.
You got to manage that clone because it will give you good quality at 10, 12 tons a hectare.
Yeah, very cool.
Easy.
So Org de Rac is a organic farm.
Yes.
Talk to me about that. What is that a core tenet of Org de Rac? Is that what Org stands for? Or
Org stands for organic on the shelf, but more or less the Rac part was stolen from Lanzarote, for what it's worth.
Really?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get in shit with that.
No, but you thought Lanzarote, and that's, and then you thought about let's steal the Rac part. That's the best part.
I'm
How does that work?
Apparently, Rac means.
Why do you need to get the weird shaped bottles? They're cool.
Yeah, but the Rac actually means from the soil,
from
earth.
All right.
And initially, it was all started in 2002, which is like far into the future. Yeah, for organic.
Yes, at that time, for sure. And why organic? What was the thinking behind that?
It was just sustainability, and some guy got a weird idea in his head and said, go for it.
And then pushed hard, huh?
And pushed hard. It's helped us. But I mean, if you want to go in the mainstream, you got to play with the big boys, you know, that's life.
Yeah.
And there was sort of that.
So you need economy of scale, you're saying? You need.
Yeah, but I mean, once you get into, that's the sad part of ignorance against organic. I mean, the whole of South Africa could go organic in a few years, which it should do.
Okay.
Because our climate is
You heard
perfect.
it here first.
Our climate is suited for it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Swartland can go
There's
tomorrow.
not a lot of disease pressures there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. Yeah.
There's
not
a few
Northern Europe.
spots I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
You know, like, but I mean, they're very fun. If you manage your, I think our sort of management sense is that you want air movement, you want good sunlight, and then we get the cool breezes coming from the southwest every afternoon, and that's what you want.
Mhm.
You want air movement, and you pack your vines as there's enough air going through.
When you're driving up the N7 north,
Yeah.
and you come around the corner, you see it all. It's quite imposing. It's
Yeah.
quite a presence.
It makes a statement.
How big is the farm? How much area do you have under vine?
We have about 56.
56
Yeah,
hectares.
yeah.
That's quite a significant amount, huh?
Yeah, it's enough.
Yeah, right. And what sort of soils are you
We got
working on?
the Malmsbury shales.
Yes. So
Uh,
similar to Goringberg with the clay
Yeah.
underneath, yeah.
But we have the shaly stuff coming out. There's a whole system, and there's gravel, and there's a lot of clay. It's sort of as you go up there. No, it's amazing. Soil.
When you say gravel, are you sort of more coffee clip sort of?
Yeah,
gravel?
fine coffee clip.
Yeah, okay.
But there's parts of that soil that's purple. I mean, it's not
Purple?
red. Yeah, it's broke.
Is it the tank of Merlot that sort of?
No. No, what I'm saying is that it's.
I think someone's lying to you, bro.
I saw it myself. I couldn't believe it.
It's amazing. It's just coming out of the earth.
Specifically,
Purple. Why is it purple?
Because it's bloody old.
Okay.
It's gone beyond, red, rust, or no, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it varies. So I've the Merlot in different parts of the farm, and working with Merlot for many years, and it's my passion because I find Merlot is life. It generates.
Sorry, Merlot is life.
Yeah, it gives life.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, let's drink on that.
Merlot is life, apparently.
And women love Merlot. So you make them voluptuous, you make them
now we're getting
big.
to the core of, okay.
You don't get them these days. Like
Old man has a plan, okay.
Sophia Loren, those big mama.
So Merlot is wife.
Wow, yeah, someone's wife. Maybe not yours, but.
It's the problem with the bloody movie they made in California. They really stuffed the brand Merlot.
But Merlot didn't have a brand before that, did they?
No, it didn't really have. But 18% of South Africa's vineyards are under Merlot.
Yeah.
So nobody really knows that they're drinking. Actually, in the blend, there's probably a commercial blend, there's probably about 60% or less.
There's a lot of
Excuse me, you said women love Merlot.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hands off. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So I mean, I make a commercial side, I make the heavy stuff, I make what these guys do. We do it all in one day.
All in one day.
Yeah.
Nice.
We harvest quickly. There's bloody hot. Summer gets really rough, so we got to move.
Right. You push.
And the problem in South Africa is with organic, you got to do by hand, so you can't.
Yeah. So how many people on the farm are working in peak harvest? How many people
I get
on
about
56 hectares?
About 40. And
40. Okay.
But the problem in South Africa is they don't work on Saturdays and Sundays.
I don't work on Saturdays and Sundays either.
Neither do I. Let's drink to that.
Cheers. Frank, thank you for bringing it. Org de Rac Merlot. Now you just have to stay, man. Just sit down, please.
Okay. I thought I'd get out of here.
Organic Merlot from the Swartland. You didn't think it existed, but it does, and it's delicious. Get some. How much is this? Plus minus.
I think about $70 a bottle.
Bargain. Let's get into it. Yeah. Cool. Who have we got next?
We've got lots of it, so don't worry.
Cliffenberg. Back into Riebeek Castile. Cliffenberg. 8 feet. Let's do it.
Honoured to have you coming.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you, Billy. I'm here actually to invite you guys, Cliffenberg, to a tasting we're putting together called the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Swartland. And we'd love it if Cliffenberg would
I would love to be out. We're honored to be part of the
Cool. There's your invite.
Thank you very much.
But we need some wine for the tasting. Do you think I
Yes,
should grab a bottle?
you're more than welcome to take one of this along for you.
Oh, nice. What's this? 8 feet.
It's an 8 feet. It's a very nice story about it.
Yeah.
I believe you're going to have some sore feet of walking all this distance.
Exactly right. I've
So
already
it
got
might help for
sore feet.
that sore feet.
Perfect. All right. Thanks,
Thank
mate.
you very much, and have a safe journey and a pleasant one.
And we'll see you at the tasting.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Just a quiet interlude before. So the guy who misspelled Kluifenberg is an Afrikaner. So I spell it correctly on my notes here with a V, and an old mate who speaks Afrikaans spells it with an F. So just that's not me, okay?
Hi, Dave.
Hello. How are you?
Nice to see you again.
Likewise. How's things?
I can't complain. At least this time you're not walking, you're sitting.
Yes. Yeah. I'm very much more comfortable now.
Yes.
That's the whole hitchhiking thing over 2 days, going about 400 k's, was tough.
So the feet is very tired, so you need to sit down.
And I didn't even lose any weight. I actually gained weight. I found, you know, those little corn kernels covered in like the chutney salt.
Oh, that's
We're
good.
getting into those.
That's good. That's good. But you must be quite thirsty of walking all of this. Can I give you a bit of my red wine?
Yeah, we're not acting anymore. Kluifenberg.
Yes. Kluifenberg.
Grapes, wine, olives.
Olives, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
And what sort of proponents, or what sort of like percentages of each of those?
All right. Ratio-wise, we got more table grapes at the present moment than wine grapes.
Okay.
So if you go to
Is that because you can't sell them, or just
table
you've got
grapes?
more
Yeah,
players?
it's a very quick cash overflow. Put it that way, or cash turnover. For
Oh,
the
okay, cash flow. Yeah.
So that's why table grapes is very handy if you've got a wine farm, because wine takes a long time to sell. You don't always get a hitchhiker coming past to buy a bottle. So we got to make up somewhere.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad I could be of assistance.
So basically, we got 117 hectares of table grapes,
Yes.
eating grapes, and 98 hectares of wine grapes.
Okay.
And 35 hectares of olives.
So I come over the pass, Botsmanskloof Pass. Is it Botsmanskloof?
Botsmanskloof Pass.
Yeah. And I come around. It's a fucking beautiful pass. I come around the Kiln, and is there all the
from the peak of the
on the
mountain?
left, and there's a little bit on the right there. I think
That's
they
all
used to
part
go
of
to
it.
some dude now on the other side of the mountain.
Yes.
So you've got some terrace vineyards, and then you've got the pergola vineyards.
Yep.
And the pergola vineyards, the one was with the vines are sort of raised up, and is that the table grapes?
That is a Shiraz grape, actually. You
Oh,
got there.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, very
So
cool.
on the left-hand side, when you come down, there's a Shiraz grape there.
Okay.
Left-hand side, we got a bit of olive grove there, and then most of the cultivars that I got in this bottle here for you,
Yes.
and some of my white cultivars. So mainly the wines we produce on a farm for our own winery, for our own counter sales, is growing on a groove where you come down the mountain,
Yeah.
and then it follows down towards the town, the farm. So it's 374 hectares for the farm.
It's a beautiful little.
It's a lovely valley.
You should be careful of the trucks.
Yes,
apart from that, it's a beautiful
trucks
drive.
coming down at a good speed down there. Yeah. But you said mentioning Botsmanskloof Pass that you're going through. That name was given to the pass because the owner of Kluifenberg was originally Mr. Botma.
Okay.
And he was the first owner of the farm, so that was a road to his farm. That's why they call it Botsmanskloof Pass.
Okay. And when was the farm established?
The farm was established on 24th September 1704. So it's a bit.
That's a bit more exact than I was. What time was it?
But older than you.
Is it after breakfast or just before afternoon tea?
No, I think it was after a glass of wine.
All right. They're probably drinking one of Craig's. He makes heaps.
So, all right.
Kluifenberg.
Yeah.
8 feet.
8 feet.
2017.
8 feet. We gave to the wine. We got 4 little boys. The owner of the farm, present owner of the farm's 4 boys.
They're not so little, are they? Though?
No, not so little anymore. They were little when they were young. At least then we could look over them. Now they look over us.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
They were helping us in the winery always. And by playing around in the winery and helping, they said they're making a wine. So we had to establish a wine with the name for them.
And so you understand, so like they kind of like it's little clean bars.
Yeah, and the other hand is being Afrikaans, traditional Afrikaans kids got a lot of names. So a label will be too small to put on a bottle with all the names.
What do you mean they have lots of names?
They normally got more than one name.
Okay, like Martinez.
Yeah. So with 4 boys with a lot of names, you need quite a big label.
Okay. So you named it after their feet, rather.
Yeah. So
it's the only logical, like from A to B, very clear.
Yeah. So I mean, to prevent us running out of label, we the owners decided that we call it the 8 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So being 8 feet, we decided to blend 4 wines to represent the 4 boys.
I see. Okay, cool.
So it's actually a very nice blend. And
so it's 4 different varieties?
4 varieties. The blend varieties we used in there is Shiraz, being a Shiraz from all the years. So that's the majority grape growing on us. And then we planted a bit of a Grenache Noir, a bit of Maver, and a bit of Carignan in there.
Okay,
and
cool.
That is
so it's very, I mean, Rhone has been a bit of a theme this evening.
Yes.
It's right along that theme, huh?
And actually, when you walk through the valley, when you came down the mountain, you must probably notice the climate's very Mediterranean-like, you know.
Oh yeah, that's the first thing I noticed when I come over the pass is the climate is Mediterranean.
so perfect for a run cultivars.
It washes across me as I come over the crest of the pass. How Mediterranean this is! I could be driving in Pisa.
So so it's perfect for the cultivars.
Perfect.
So that's why we decided to do a Rhone blend. And I see you did have the sip of the Rhone blend already there.
It's super tasty, huh?
It's very, very nice, soft wine. And
soft.
Soft.
I wouldn't call it soft. I'd call it quite powerful.
It's not coarse. It's very soft.
Oh no, it's fine, but it's not soft.
It's in liquid form, so it's soft.
Yeah. Soft is the Wallaby front row.
When the boys is all playing in the same team. Yes.
Okay. For the previous 100 years, that one day they're okay.
No, all right, but I mean, it's soft. It's a very easy drinking wine.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's very balanced. Yeah,
very balanced.
It appears softer than it is. It's probably more impactful than you feel because it is so well balanced.
When you take the first sip and you got it on a nose, you get an impression it might be a very good bite because the bark is there on the nose, but it's not really biting you. It's actually very soft to drink. You know? So more bark than bite.
Oh, I see. Okay, no, I've lost you there for a second.
Yes. So it's not a vicious dog.
I lost Andrea Molyneux on Wednesday when she started talking technical stuff. I sort of like zoned out a bit, and then and now I lost you when you started mixing metaphors with dogs and barks. And,
well, I was thinking, walking all that distance, you might have encountered a lot of dogs. You know, so maybe you're afraid of a dog.
No, they don't like me. No, they don't like me.
Nothing like that. No. So the cultivars we used in there. The ratio change every year according to the season.
So is this where does this sit in the Klippenberg range? Is it
it's a range.
It's got wax on it, so it must be expensive, huh?
Yeah, nothing's really expensive in life. You know? If you really want it, it's
I didn't say it wasn't a good value.
No, it's not really expensive if you look at the quality.
But it's higher in the range.
It's not at the bottom, it's just more in the middle class, put it that way.
Yeah.
So you can get it much more expensive wines also.
Yeah.
But it's not always the price that determines the wine. It's the
contents
in the bottle.
Trying to give people some context because they bought a box of wine and they don't know which one costs what. So I'm just trying to build some context. And so what does this cost at the cellar door?
At the cellar door, that goes for 200 rand.
200, it's a bargain.
It's a bargain. I mean, the rand value did climb of the dollar, so it's not that cheap.
It's got a lovely blue fruit. It's got a lovely, fine tannin to it. It's not aggressive. That's right. The acidity is in balance. It's not juby or soupy. It's not over the top. It's got a quite nice little. All the corners are tucked in neatly.
It's a wine that you can use for a social drink, but you can use it for a meal also. It got good enough body. So if you do get that nice piece of meat somebody give you on the way you're hiking again, you can have it with that piece of
Shock horror, red wine goes with me.
Specifically red meat is very nice.
Good with pasta and chicken dishes also? vegetarian dishes? No.
I hope they have something like that on the fire for you outside.
Is the fire going?
Yeah.
Hang on. Anzel is very, very carefully. For those who don't know, who are actually the boys behind the feet? We're joking about their size and things, but they're known to a lot of people, aren't they?
Yes, the boys is known to people, specifically the eldest boy.
Okay.
Being a very famous rugby player, he played for the Springbok team and had done a very good game for us in the World Cup by achieving the #1 player to be. So it was quite a big achievement for all of us to see a boy from a local town, a small Swartland town, to achieve that.
Are you under contract not to mention his name? Or?
I can mention his name after a couple of glasses of wine. But no, it's Peter Step de Twee.
Okay.
And Peter Step de Twee was always very popular for rugby. A lot of people liked him. And then he's got his younger brother that also de Twee, that's also playing professional rugby. So there is a lot of rugby genes in him, because grandfather, when he bought a farm in 1956, he actually played for the Springboks at that time.
Okay.
So it's just a carryover from the genes. And Dad's dream was also to play one day for them, but he couldn't. Being the only son, he had to come around the farm. So that's
his excuse, huh?
Yeah, well,
no, I tell people I can't open the batting for Australia because I live in Cape Town. So
we've got to have an excuse sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a privilege, and sometimes
back in 2012 they needed me.
Yeah. So a lot of rugby on a farm. But if you ever get a chance again to pass through there when you're hiking this way, spend more time, then you can look at the rugby jerseys.
My hiking days are over, bro. They're done. You know those shoes, those beautiful, fuck those shoes.
All right. Maybe the felt, you need some good felt spoons.
Yeah. I bought these felt skinners. Like they're like felt skinners, like they're for the country, you know?
Yes. Yeah, but Swartland is not country. Swartland is quite a harsh area.
Yeah. No, the climate's fine. The people.
Yeah.
When was this photo taken?
That photo was taken in 2002.
Okay.
When the boys done the first time the bit of experiment with us in the winery by stumping some grapes. And we just thought it's a very nice idea of taking a photo of them,
very cool.
of their legs, to have proof that they're actually helping in a winery.
And this is the proof. It could have been anybody.
And there's a proof of dirty legs. So we're not using child labor, not at all.
I didn't say it, okay? I was leading to that, but I didn't get there.
No, it's just that the owner himself is a very big family man, and he feels it's nice to enroll the family with everything that he's doing on the farm. It's the kids' farm one day when they take it over. So from a young age to make them part of the farm, enroll them in doing some activities there. And hopefully they drink more wine then.
I've met a woman from the farm. He's a very prim and proper Afrikaans gentleman, or meneer. Family man, as you say. Very a kind of person you only find in South Africa. Like it's in a good way. He's
genuine Afrikaans.
Genuine Afrikaans, like the Dreyers from Leeuwenkuil, the same sort of stock.
So it's the quality people still.
No, strong. and their word is their bond. Their word is iron. You know.
That's right.
And that's there's something to be said for that, for sure. Thanks for bringing the wine.
Thanks
for the stories.
Pleasure to meet you again, and have a safe journey. Where are you going from here?
I'm probably going to the bar, to be fair.
Well, I don't think that's too far.
No, there's two gutters and a bit of a road to traverse.
All right, so at least you don't need new shoes for that.
But I'm an old hand. I've got some moves.
No, it was lovely to see you again.
Thank you, Baia. Good to see you. Thanks for bringing the wine. Awesome.
Pleasure.
Okay, from Ribbit Castile, we are going to somewhere there's a Ian on a punter. Did I say that correctly? No. Okay, good. But I don't understand shit. The fact that people said I didn't understand, they didn't understand, said they understood it. It's great. Cully from Porcelainberg's up next. Here's the video. Gully,
Hey, Dave.
how's it, man?
Oh, good evening, man.
Good to see you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, bit of pruning going on.
Yeah.
Nice. I've got an invite for you
Okay.
to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Swartland.
Yeah.
It's a tasting in November.
Cool.
And we'd love for Porcelainberg to be part of it.
Let me get you a bottle of wine.
Yeah, perfect. Ooh, nice. What have you got there? What vintage is this?
2016.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice one. That's going to be very nice. I might take that.
Okay. Oh, yeah. For the travels.
Yeah. I've got lots of other bottles in here, so
Okay.
we're protected.
You need it, right?
That'd be good. Yeah. Thanks, mate. Awesome.
I'm going to give it to you. Hello.
Welcome, Khalidlo.
Hey, Dave.
How are you, mate?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Cheers,
This
mate.
is the first beer that you've had on your long trek.
Yeah, I know. No one offered me a beer but you, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. Cheers.
Absolutely. We'll have to give you a palate a freshener.
A cleanser.
A cleanser,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
So, what's your story?
Just hanging around, drinking booze as usual. Talking about it a bit.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm sitting here with you.
Yeah. How's that feel?
All right.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
That video was not shot on Porcelainberg, was it?
Yeah, that is on the gold mine, eh?
Yeah. Talk to me about that. What is that?
It's a farm with
Okay.
vines on, and mostly going to the chocolate block wine, and some goes to Buchanats.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's a nice place to be.
It's a beautiful farm. It's the
Yeah.
first time I've been there.
Yeah, no, neighbours
It's a
of the
lovely
Molyneux
slope
and some other fancy addresses there.
Yeah. Well,
It's
we
like a
can't.
sort of-
We can't all be perfectly placed, can we?
No,
Yeah.
no. It's nice to drive there.
And you got Alan next door as well.
Correct. Yeah.
Does he wake you up every morning? And
Yeah, I go there for beer.
he seems like a bit of a rooster. Like he
Yeah.
gets up and rah, 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 rah.
You do some good beer. Yeah.
Porcelainberg, talk to me about that.
What do you need to know?
About it. Where is it?
Well, it's about 8 km south of the gold mine, there where we shot the little movie. And so we started there in 2009. And the idea, we just wanted to start producing grapes for Buchanats Kloof, being a net buyer of grapes, and kept a little bit of the grapes on the farm. And so we're up to a nice sizable farming enterprise now, and should be looking after all our labels. Chocolate Block is the big one, and then I have some Grenache and some Cinsault on Porcelainberg, a little bit on the gold mine. Syrah is our big focus.
Yeah. So how much land under vineyard do you have there?
Just short of 130, between the two. Yeah.
No, just at Porcelainberg.
Porcelainberg is about 90.
Okay. And you live at Porcelainberg, and you're there every day. Or so you're the man on the tractor, so to speak.
Not anymore.
No,
But,
you've got some other dude.
Yeah, I've got some.
Have you?
I've
Have
got
you?
people.
What are you doing now?
I'm printing labels at the moment.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the calluses have gone, guys. They're done. That's it.
There's still some.
It's like shaking hands with a supermodel.
Well done,
So, what do you got? Shiraz, Grenache, and Cinsault.
Yeah, and then
But Shiraz, I mean, in the bottle, there's mostly Shiraz, or 100% Shiraz.
Yeah.
Cento per cento.
No, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what Grenache and Cinsault is?
That's
is
the chocolate
purposed
block?
elsewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, is Porcelainberg? I mean, obviously, as you say, it's part of the Buchanats Kloof sort of enterprise.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark Kent is one of the driving, or probably the driving force behind it, and there's other people involved as well. What is your role within Swartland, apart from running the printing machine?
Well, I farm.
You're
That's
the
what I
farmer?
do. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm basically, what we did was because Buchanan's Kloof were net buyers of grapes. They just decided in 2009 they need to start farming their own grapes, be in control of the source of the grape.
Yeah.
And
So
the
Swartland,
Swartland,
sorry to interrupt, a bit ahead of the curve in that sense.
Yes.
Because a lot of guys are now sort of going, shit, we need some land and we need some iron grapes. And so ahead of the curve. Cool.
Yeah, and then it was just like a snowball. We wanted to do 40 hectares. We got offered land, bought other farms. So it's just been,
just pretty. Land people just throwing their land.
Yeah, just no, not really like that, but just it's just been a cool journey. And Swartland's been pretty cool.
And do you make the wine?
Yeah, I do.
I
ferment the grapes. They ferment themselves, actually. I don't ferment them. I don't know.
You put the grapes where they can ferment.
Yeah, we put them in a tank and then, So, the thing with Swartland, I think was the nice thing. It was a clean slate, and there was no recipe, no following, or nothing. And
there's no legacy you had to.
And I'd worked with a few people in France and elsewhere where the site and the vintage is more important than somebody in a lab or trying to.
And obviously, gave you that freedom as well.
And Mark was fantastic at that. And so I really wanted to make a wine from whole bunches, no destemming, no sorting, because I think, if there's a little bit of bird pick, if there's a little bit of, it's part of the vintage. And if you go and sort all that stuff out, you're going to get to some kind of monotony somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the accusations thrown at modern Bordeaux that they get so much
perfect selective vintage out of it.
That it's actually,
So, I drink Oros and I'd happily buy a bottle of Oros every day, but I don't want this to
just
be
a bottle of Oros every day.
2 liters. It takes about 10 liters. Yeah. Not quite a bottle.
If you're a dentist in Malmesbury, then look up C Low, L-O-U-W.
Not quite a bottle of that. It's not a bottle of that. But anyway,
no, I mean, you're obviously not a technical guy. That's not you're more about philosophy and sort of more about sort of bigger things that play than like, numbers on a page.
It's an amazing site.
Talk to me about the bigger things. Talk to me about
we worked with these grapes at Rustenburg in 2001 and 2. And
2001 and 2, that long ago. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and I think Evan made some wine from these grapes in 2000 maybe. I think the Syrah vineyard, the original one.
Around with when he was at Rustenburg, didn't he?
Yeah. So we got these.
So it wasn't unknown. It wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't well known, but it was this mystical place with.
Was it mystical?
Yeah, well,
really?
The grapes come to the farm, and the Syrah is a bunch like this.
Yes.
It's like a T-bone steak.
Yeah.
And then Swartland comes in, and it's like a filet mignon. It's
right.
like a fucking bite size.
Yeah.
And then there's berries that look like peppercorns, and these shiny stones.
Yeah.
So there's always this sort of. I'd never been there until 2009. And after 11 years, I sort of know the place, but there's still some kickers.
I mean, it seems. I mean, I've been there a few times.
Yeah.
It's it seems like a difficult place to farm.
Yeah.
In terms of for a crop.
Yeah.
What are the major challenges there?
Just rocks, eh?
Rocks.
Yeah, we have a lot of solid.
Yeah.
South African soils are generally quite weathered. They're apparently the oldest soils in the world. And old soils are weathered. So soil comes from rocks.
Yes.
And they weather, they degrade, and you have soil and you have profiles. And we have a soil profile like this, and the rest is rock.
When you say rock, is it almost like concrete sort of type vibe,
Yeah, it's
or is
bedrock.
it sort of?
Yeah, no, it's
Is
bedrock.
it
yeah.
like you'd like gone?
Yeah, that's I think
you're
that's
putting
the
a pick
big.
in there and there's spark coming out, or
yeah, if you.
No,
had-
give
no,
us a
no,
little
100%.
picture, 'cause
No. People have lit their. There's regular fires in the wheatlands
yeah,
where a combine hits a section of quartz or something else and
Yeah.
it sparks. They
Yeah.
do spark.
Yeah.
Um,
but it's hard. Like it's not.
no, it's super hard.
It's
yeah.
like when you say bedrock. I mean, it's not bed. It's more rock than bed.
Yeah, I suppose. If
Yeah.
you want to, but they call it bedrock.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
I'm just trying to.
but I've
build a
seen
picture because
a
it's-
big
yeah.
machine stand there and it's 30 tons and it stands and it works and it works and it works and then all of a sudden you can feel the earth move and then it breaks a section and that section is like the size of a Toyota Bucky. Yeah, and it sort of goes softer as you go north. The Kasteelberg, the
But
way
that's true
I
in
found
life,
it,
isn't it?
I suppose.
The more north you go, softer shit gets.
I'm not involved in that, but no, I guess not. But anyways, yeah, no, it's been a really cool ride, and things are settling down now. It takes a bit of time, and it's really it's been cool, and it's nice to see the difference between the two sites, even being like 8 k's apart and being from the same soil, from the same parent material, mica schist. When it's weathered and when it's not weathered, it's like I have half the amount of hectares on the back of the Kasteelberg and I have double on the Porsleinberg, and I'll probably harvest the same amount of grapes.
Okay.
Just to put it into perspective, and we get a lot more rain here as by me, and there the wind is still by me, the wind is howling, so it's just,
So with Wildehurst, they're kind of on their own at Gurrenberg. It seems like you're kind of on your own on that little range of hills as well with wine grapes. Is that true?
Yeah, on top of the hill, most of the people, so all the mountain ranges run along the Berg River. So the Berg River is to the...
the Berg River is obviously classic path.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if you want to make money, you work as close to the river as possible. You don't really want to... Suni langnek kaiki. You don't really want to lift water. So clever people have made sums that if you lift water 100 meters into the air, then it's not sustainable anymore.
Lifting waters doesn't seem like a smart idea.
No. Yeah. Anyways, so I think we're basically the only guys farming grapes on top of the hill. Yes. There's a lot of stuff going on the eastern slopes.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. A lot of table grapes.
Table grapes.
Yeah,
okay, right.
Yeah, mostly table grapes, and then to the north, there's some on the sort of, not even on the mid slope, more on the floodplains or.
So did you say floodplains in the Swartland? Is it
well,
like a 1 in 100 year event, or?
Yeah, fuck, it was Gondwana land sometime or another. So everything, it wasn't in the air. was a floodplain. And anyways, so the flatlands are floodplains.
2014, yeah.
Exactly.
2014 and 14 BC.
So well, it's just an amazing site. We have mostly blue schist, so that's like the completely unweathered one, and then as you go north, it becomes redder and more flaky because schist, they're all sedimentary stones, and they layer off, and then the blue schist is sort of almost it's almost slate. It's so compact and so hard.
I remember speaking to you when we were there.
And then if you go down, you get
it's almost like
shale,
you go into
the softer ones.
You go into the Karoo and you see that sort of slatey, sort of blue schisty vibe as well. You know, but German, it's really strange.
Yeah.
But it's a similar vibe there.
Yeah.
And the wine itself, first vintage was when?
2010.
2010. And from 2010 and 20.
Was
Yeah,
there any
yeah.
vineyards on the farm back then?
Yeah,
So,
old
he has it on the
vineyard.
microphone. He's asking, Martin's asking if there's any vineyards on the farm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
do that because no one will hear. Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah. We're professional.
Yeah, so there was this old vineyard that I was explaining about that we worked with at Rustenburg and started planting in 2010. And yeah, just started, kept all the grapes on the farm since 2010. And then from 2013, we started shifting grapes to Bogenotes. And in 2014, I started sending grapes to Helderberg for the chocolate block.
Can you not hold them ransom? Sorry, mate. There's no grapes leaving until I get 14
a bigger seller.
No, 14 shotguns. One of those ones with the beautiful like stocks, you know, like one of those really, you know, one of those like Italian ones.
Good idea.
Yeah. I mean, you're in charge, huh?
Exactly. Yeah.
Who's going to come on your farm and tell you what to do? There's a few. There's up there. But there are fewer after you have a beautiful shotgun.
Yeah, I've got a nasty one at the moment. But anyway. Yeah, fuck. And so we've grown from 3,000 bottles to about 24,000 bottles now. And do you want to talk about this one now?
Well, no, let's talk about how you make the wine. I mean, it's not something that you like to talk about necessarily because
as I said earlier,
I don't want to talk about necessarily the shit you do, but why you do what you do is probably more important. I mean, your job, right? Apart from farming the place and making it as commercially viable as possible while being true to the places, in terms of the wine side of things. What's your guiding philosophy? What do you? I mean, in the back of your mind, you have I'm assuming you have some sort of because you were at Tulbach when we first met. Yeah. And you're the first Afrikaans guy who swore as much as Australians.
Oh yeah.
So there was a natural like this guy's okay.
It's been quite tidy.
No, because I'd come to my wife's Afrikaans, and her family's very well behaved. And so I thought all the Afrikaans people were very well behaved. Yeah. And that then David McCulley. And that changed slightly. No, the goalposts moved slightly. Yeah. That was in 2007.
Are you talking about abuse of language, or are we talking about wine now?
No. Just your demeanor, I guess. No. It's just just the way you talk about when there isn't a camera around, how you but I don't want to talk about like when do you press and what following. I would like to, because it's interesting to talk to you because you have an interesting way of looking at things, and you have a very unique way of talking about things as well, and you are in a very unique spot. Yeah. And you're doing unique things and you make unique wine. So I want to sort of extrude as much information. Like the numbers don't matter because the numbers in different areas will mean different stuff. Yeah. But why is where I'm going to. So you don't distem at all?
No.
Why?
I just wanted something like I said earlier, I wanted something 100% from the farm, from a place, and 100% from the vintage.
Yes.
And that was it. I didn't want to decide this year. It rained on the 4th of September. I think I need to destem 10%.
So it's either destem 100% or destem 0%. There were the options.
No, I just wanted to do something that is 100% from one place.
No, but trying to get to your point.
Yeah.
You could destem 100% and then that's also out of the question.
Well, I think Syrah is a grape that likes stems.
Okay.
So it's, I think it's.
So you're actually thinking about the drinker as well?
Yeah.
At some point.
That's difficult, but I've had a lot of wines with 100% stems, the old wines that didn't follow scores and things, and I really like those wines because they, there's a line and there's an authenticity. As soon as you
talk to me about authenticity. That's an interesting.
No, I just think if you have enough wine from a place where they don't fuck around with the recipe, then you get to know the place.
Yes, that's
and that's what I try to do.
Yeah.
Don't mess around with there was one fucking there if you didn't pick that up. But
how many fucks?
Only one.
Yeah, okay, good.
And
I'm not the police, by the way.
To me, that's what I tell the people that come there is like if you follow this wine long enough, then you're gonna see and just enjoy the ride. If I had to make changes every year because I believe that the vintage was this and it was that, then
Oh, and we're back apparently. Apparently we dropped out. I apologise. It wasn't my fault. It was Kelly's fault. 100%.
The Nokia.
Yeah, it's the Nokia. Yeah. Your nuclear device down there.
Huh?
Are you back on, Stefan?
They pulled out the plug on the outside.
Oh, that's
Nice,
handy. Yeah.
nice.
So the guys outside.
It's time to go now, really, Joe.
Come on, Sheena.
Okay.
Somebody tripped the plug and I saw it. So.
They're trying to braai outside and they couldn't see anything. There we go. They couldn't see anything, so they pulled the plug out so they can see to braai. So, but we're back now. We're good.
Okay, so I think we probably had started enough of the. I think there's somebody. There's some 45 to come on now, but
you do big concrete tanks. There's not a lot of oak. It's not.
It's fermented in concrete and then into big barrels, 2,500 liter barrels. I just want the wine when it's bottled to be fresh and it must age in bottle. And then the big reason I chose this wine is
Emirates.
Yeah, when somebody decided to eat the pangolin, nobody's flying anymore. So this would have been on the first class. So you're all sitting in first class at the moment. I don't sit there ever. So enjoy that. I don't think.
Dress like that, you don't, mate.
Oh, fuck. If you pay the money, you can dress so you can come naked. But anyway, so this is a first class drink.
Well,
and 2016, I think, is going to be the one that's going to be the one to drink early in the lineup of the vintages that's been bottled.
So people aren't getting upset that they've just opened this bottle because it's going to improve over the next 30 years. It's actually a good drink to drink. Out of all the Forslandbergs?
Yeah, I think 10 years is a good year to start drinking them, but 16 is just, it's a hot, dry year, and we're
gonna drink some 16 Barbaresco and drink some 16 Chianti Classico Reserva a bit later. So go on Kelly's Instagram page. It's at Forslandberg Hot.
Unavailable.
Kelly, thanks, man.
Like a day.
Good chat.
Yeah. See you later. Barbaresco.
Barbaresco.
Yes.
Next, who have we got next? Schenkfontein, up, Gepberg, proper. Yeah, let's do it. How's it, man? Is your Hendrik?
Yes, I'm Hendrik, yeah.
Awesome, man. David, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. How are you?
Yeah, very well. I've got an invitation for you. I've come a long way to give you this.
That's good news.
It's an invitation to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Swartland.
Okay.
It's a tasting in November for wine and olive oil for all around the Swartland. I was hoping that Schenkfontein could take part.
Yes, we will join it.
Perfect.
Yes.
Have you maybe got a bottle of wine that I can take with me?
Yes, I have one.
I'm pretty thirsty. What is it?
It's a nice pinotage that you can enjoy with your bride.
Lekker.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
See you soon.
See you in November.
Yeah, right.
And we're back. Hendrik, I see that on the logo it says private seller, but you let me in, so it can't be that private.
Yeah, it's good private. It's good guests like you that I come in.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you leaving me in and not other people?
Yeah, I say go away, please. Go to the N7.
You're a good man. I like you.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Talk to me about Schenkfontein.
Yeah, Schenkfontein is the farm, but on this label is Winkelzoek.
No, talk to me about the farm. I want to
On the farm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't talk about we don't want to. We like the wine, but we like the farm more because we like the wine's great, but we don't know where it's from and who makes it.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go to Testelonga on the N7 and you check on the west side, I think it's 15 kilometers. You'll see the next mountain.
Yes.
And then you will see me waving there. It's me. In the vineyard, checking the grapes.
Oh, yeah. Working hard, huh?
Yeah, but out of Piketberg
yes.
to the Redlinghuis, Elandsbaai, where all the surfers with the long hair go.
Yeah.
That's
not me, bro.
Unlucky.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's 26 kilometers from Piketberg on the left-hand side.
Okay.
And against the mountain, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you do there? You grow grapes? You make wine?
Yeah, I started
shoot stuff?
in the
What do you do?
vineyard that time, and then we had the winemaker also from Elsenburg, and then he go away. Had to do stuff.
Did you make him go away?
No, I didn't. So then my father threw me into the deep side, and he said, "Yes, you must make wine now." So I said, "Yes, okay, it's fine." And we originally started that time. My father broke away from the family.
Just come in a little bit.
From Winkelzoek.
Yeah, there we go. Perfect.
And he started 1996 with Schenkfontein. And he started with a distillery cellar.
Schenkfontein, that's an interesting name.
Yeah, it was a guy staying on Winkelzoek.
Okay.
And he was a teacher.
Winkelzoek?
Winkelzoek, yes.
Where is Winkelzoek?
Just next to Schenkfontein.
And if I ask where Schenkfontein is, you're going to say next to Winkelzoek, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been through this fucking paradox before. Okay, I drive into Piketberg from...
Yes.
Okay, am I driving past Piketberg to get to you or beforehand?
Yeah, but you don't take the N7 to Testelonga. You're going on the left-hand side.
No.
Then you go, I think it's R366.
So after Piketberg, I turn left?
Yes.
Around the mountain?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, then you go straight to Elandsbaai.
Right.
Yeah, and 26 kilometers on your left-hand side.
Boom. Okay.
Yes.
Now I'm with you.
Are you with me? Okay.
Yeah.
So the hind side of Piketberg.
Yeah. The north side.
North side.
Yeah, north side, yeah.
Just pause there for a second. I just want to swap the sign.
Okay, I'm pausing. I'm not sure how to pause, but I've been told to pause. This is... We've got some technical issues, or
No, just switching the batteries.
oh, the batteries.
There we go.
Okay, we're back on. Okay, thank you.
Dankie, Eskom.
Yeah. Yeah, cheers. Cheers, Eskom. Yeah, legends. Okay. And so, what does Schenkfontein do?
Schenkfontein, yeah, is...
It's a beautiful spot. I mean, it's a lovely drive-in. There's a beautiful mountain in the background.
Yeah, so you said it's a private cellar.
Okay.
So my father started in 1996. So he only made dry white and dry red. So then I come in the photo. Then say, Hendrik must do something great here. So,
sorry, at some point, you got in the photo.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I was at Elsenburg that time with Maras. I was trying to achieve something I didn't achieve. Yeah.
You weren't with Martin, you were with Maras.
Yeah, so 4 years later,
a little bit of this going on.
Yeah, too much booze. And so I decided to take the train back to Piketberg. Yeah, so We've planted now 65 hectares.
65, okay.
Yeah, 65 in its 2 farms. It's Kenfontein itself with the old vines that is planted in 1998.
Okay.
We started with Chenin Blanc and Cabernet Sauvignon and Shiraz, Pinotage.
Everything that was available.
Everything was available. Chenin Blanc, Colombar. Yeah. Or any, didn't wait, you just go and buy a lot of vines and go. Yeah. And then I think 2010. Then come to the farm and then we started to plant again on the next farm. We bought the neighbor, Klippet plus. So there is now 35 hectares of mechanized vineyards. Yes, we're doing it now. Yeah.
You thought I didn't understand. And so you produce obviously a port style wine. We're not under EU regulations here. Let's just call it port.
Yeah.
Is it a vintage port or is it a tawny port?
Cape vintage.
Cape vintage. Right.
Yes.
2017.
Yes.
What grapes are in here? What's
Toriga.
100%.
100% Toriga.
Nacional.
Yeah. I can pronounce it nice. Yeah.
Okay. Can you?
Yeah. Toriga Nacional. Nice Inekil accent. But this.
And what are you fortifying with? Are you fortifying with
No. We use KWV 68%.
5 year.
5 year, yes. Yeah, so we started that time. My opa, grandfather, he started on van bezoek that time with sweet wine, the Hannepot. And then Philip, my brother, told me, so we must do a range of sweet wines. So that's where it started. And my friend in the Sandveld.
The Sandveld?
Sandveld, where
Where is
you
that?
drive past my farm, you go to Ellensby, you get the Matonzoek Valley.
On the next left.
On the next left.
Yeah.
Yes.
70 kilometers up.
Yeah, it's about.
How far away is it?
It's about 15 minutes drive.
No. How far in distance?
20 kilometers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then it's a
Not
place
unreasonable.
surrounding by mountains and there's a lot of potato fields there. And they decided to plant the Toriga and a lot of cultivars there. So in that time, I think he take it to Citrus Dalstella. And then we needed some port.
Also, Igor Maras is thirsty, huh?
Yeah, Maras, he wants some wine.
Life is beautiful.
You call it feeding the beast?
My wife does call it that.
There's a lovely savory aspect to this. I mean, usually port or port style wines are quite fruity, quite over the top, quite soupy, but this is a real sort of lovely sort of savory aspect to it. What is that due to, do you think?
Yeah, I didn't know about a lot of sweet wines at that time, so I called their Mias Volgraaf Monty Cellars. He also went to Elsenburg with me, Maras. And he told me...
Did he also fail? Or?
No, he didn't fail.
All
That's
right.
why I called him.
Passed.
Yeah, I passed,
He's the one guy who passed.
So I needed his help.
He's the one guy who didn't drink with Maras.
So he gave me nice tips to... So this is, it's like red wine. We pump it in a skeyer. I don't know what you call skeyer in English.
Divider.
Divider. Yeah. And we put some cooling in.
We don't know what skeyer is. Please send me a WhatsApp what a skeyer is, because these guys don't know.
A skeyer is a divorcee.
So apparently a skater is a 45-year-old lady in Hermanus
in Brackenfeld.
ex-Pretoria.
Yeah, so pump it in the Vorsi. And we put it in cooling plates from top, and then I ferment it from till 14 balling.
Okay.
And then take it down to the cellar, and then then we fortify.
Whatever you do, it's delicious. So it's got a real sort of drive to it. I mean, there's a lot of ports, and yes, I have fun here. Yes, I drink and blah blah blah. But I don't bullshit with wine. With this, it has power, it has presence, it has a uniqueness. There is a clarity of this wine that's really unique, and I'm trying to work out what it is. And I think I have to go there again, to be honest.
I think it's the Vorsi, bro.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
no, but there is a lot of. I mean, maybe you don't. I try and drink as much sort of fortified. I like fortified wine. I really do. I think it's amazing. This wine is a unique, for me, in South African senses, because it's not overtly sweet. It's not like soupy. It has structure and clarity and real drive to it. And I'm trying to work out where that comes from. No, it's a lovely wine, man, and I think you should be really proud of it.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Winkelshoek, Van Kelder. I can't understand
Wine
the word
cellar.
No, it's a beautiful wine. How much is this?
I think 65.
No way.
No,
When you buy from me, from the seller.
Yeah, if you buy it from me, it's 165, and it's still a bargain. No, it's lovely. It's
Lekker wijn.
It's lekker wijn. It's got all the class of a proper fortified wine. It's got some nice depth, nice character to it, and but it's not heavy with fruit. A lot of fortified wines in the New World, and I'm accusing Australia as well of being overly fruity wines. This is not overly fruity. It has obviously fruit, but there's a real class to it.
Thanks, Dave.
Hendrik, thanks, man.
So
Dat is mijn Engels opbouw.
Where his English ends, my Afrikaans starts. So belt up. We got Derek from the Wine Boutique. Sorry.
Olive Boutique.
Olive Boutique. Fuck's sake. Sorry. Derek.
Hi.
How's it, man? How are you?
Well, good to see you.
Likewise. I've got an invitation for you to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Swartland. It's an event in November, which is wine and olive oil. Only the best is invited, and we're inviting the Olive Boutique.
I'd love to. Please, can I donate a bottle of Swartland olive oil to the occasion?
That is a great plan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Perfect.
I'll see you there.
See you there.
Perfect.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. I'm seriously been enjoying this, by the way.
Okay, everybody. Okay, we're back. Shut up. Okay. Derek, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Enjoying this tremendously.
I think we'll get everybody in here to taste olive oil.
All right. Well, we've only got 4 little shots here. I'm going to do 3 of these. So Derek, yeah. I'll just allocate them here. There we go. Okay, welcome back. We have Derek from the Olive Boutique in the main road. Is it the main road?
It's Courtyard Street.
Courtyard Street.
It's Church Street.
Oh, Kark Street. Sorry, Kark. Street.
Every small village has a church street. Yeah. Every
From
small
Olive
village.
Boutique.
Yeah.
In Riebeek Kasteel.
Riebeek Kasteel.
Talk to us about olive oil.
It's been olive oil and wine are so similar in that they come. The whole taste of it is about the terroir. It comes from the same property, the same land. It's farmed by the same people because all the olive come from people who farm grapes and citrus, and it's used to help you enjoy a meal.
Now,
But everything else is so different to what these guys have been saying that I actually feel like I'm half out of place, but I'm half in place.
Well, I like the half-half. I like olive oil very much. I mean, the way I cook is I cut up some onion, cut up some garlic, and put some olive oil in the pan, and then try and decide what else is happening. Well, then it's on my wife to fucking just make that happen.
You've got 3 different types of olive oil. You've got delicate, medium, and intense.
Oh, really?
So therefore, if you're cutting up something in a pan, it depends on what you're cutting up in the pan. It's like wine. You don't choose your wine just because you like a favorite wine. You're having a meal, and then you choose something that goes with it. Olive oil is exactly the same. If you're doing a salad or a light fish, you have a delicate olive oil. If you're doing a game fish, you're doing a little bit of red meat, you have a medium in olive oil. This is a medium. If you're doing red meat or roasted vegetables or roasted soups, you have an intense olive oil. So it's very similar to wine. You don't have a favorite wine. You have an occasion that you're using the wine to support and enjoy and to socialize with. Olive oil is exactly the same.
So do you have an olive oil cellar?
We are probably sitting at the moment, we're not like you guys, we're very boutique. We have about 7,000 liters of olive oil at the moment from the last
personally,
season.
do you have lots of different olive oils around the world that you access given the food you're eating and stuff? Or
we would produce 5 different varieties of olive oil based on what that season has given us.
Okay.
It's exactly the same as with the grapes. If there's more heat in the season, then we have a more ripe olive oil, and the olive oil tends to be less intense. If it's taking longer for the heat to come, it takes longer for the olive to get ripe. It's still got a greenness to it, so it's a more intense to the grape, to the olive oil. And we will, every month of the season, we will, particular variety, whatever we're milling, we keep separate in a tank. And at the end of the season, we will start tasting that rainy week, that hotter week, because with the Frantoio or the Corotino or the Ricino, which are the 3 main varieties of olive oil,
yes,
the heat and the rain and the terroir gives you a different taste for that same fruit as from last year.
Okay.
So it's very similar. So we will then keep it for the whole season. And at the end of the season, we'll sit back and we'll start tasting which week goes nicely with which week with this variety, and what do we need to add to give it a bit of intensity or the flavor. So we put it together at the end of the year. So our cellar is different tanks of different weeks of pressing. And then at the end of the season, we will sit back and we will blend based on what the season has given us.
Yeah. Sounds amazing. It sounds very similar to wine, to be honest.
It's amazingly similar to wine, but amazingly different. What I've been hearing is a bunch of guys who are doing things maverick, who are doing things different, who are doing things on skins, who are doing... And I've been listening to with fascination. The olive oil industry, I've actually got to follow the discipline.
Only one guy gets
With olive oil, I've in fact got to follow disciplines. I can't break rules. I've got to, if I want to get extra virgin olive oil, classified as extra virgin olive oil, and if it's not classified as extra virgin olive oil, I lose all my money.
Craig's your man.
I've pressed these olives. I've pressed these olives. And he's not my man. I've got to follow the rules because I've got to conform to International Olive Oil Council requirements.
I was going to ask you.
So I can't break rules like you guys.
Yeah. What rules do you have?
Oh,
Talk to me about the rules.
I've got.
I don't want to hear them all. I want to hear the major ones that we care about.
The chemical, but the ones that are good for your body. Okay, olive oil is.
No. I want to hear the rules that you have to abide to. That you shift your business to abide to.
I have to press within 24 hours of those olives coming in. I don't farm. I'm the village mill.
Yeah.
I press for 120 local growers.
You have to press within 24 hours of
those olives being harvested.
Okay.
In fact, what we do is we wake up, and most of our guys around here are weekend farmers. They will give me less than 100 kgs. And I will wake up on a Monday morning and we'll go down at 5 o'clock in the morning. We look outside our gate and there's 15 different bags of olives with different people's names stuck on them. And
are you a heavy sleeper?
Yeah. And then these are weekend farmers. From 3.6 kgs from
if old mate's already up with 300 kgs of olives, I reckon I'd wake up.
I stay a long way away from the mill. I let them drop. Okay. I'm not interested. From 3.6 kgs in a brown paper bag to a ton of olives in 65 yellow cases that will be stuck out in my driveway when I arrive there in the morning. And that stuff has to be pressed before we can go to bed. Because if you leave it past 24 hours, it goes rotten. And as soon as it's going rotten, it goes rancid. All fruit starts going rancid from the time you pick it. All fruit.
Yeah, but can you, I mean...
And olive oil has a unique rancidity, to be extra virgin olive oil, you have to have less than 0.8% fatty acids and less than 20% peroxides, which is the stuff, the technical stuff that says it's going rotten.
Interrupt you, sorry. We're going to learn a lot of figures and really interesting numbers here. So like, bear with us. It's going to be boring, but interesting in the long term.
We've got to press it before it goes rotten. 40% of the Mediterranean crop is pressed rotten. And then you put a deodorizer in and you put an antidote back and you sell it back as extra. You lose your money.
You're going too fast for people. I'm going too fast for me. And I'm interested.
Okay. We've got to press it within 24 hours.
Yeah, okay.
If we let it go past 24 hours, as a fruit, it's starting to go rancid. It's starting to lose its freshness. It's starting to lose its health benefits.
Yep.
And then it goes above what we call the minimum requirements for free fats and peroxides. And as soon as it does that, it no longer has the health benefits.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
When you say pressing, we're in a wine context. Is it the same sort of pressing regime as a wine? Pressing, as in like removing the the liquid from the solids. Is that the?
It used to be. It used to be pressing. It used to be pressed between old koya mats, and it's still a term that's used, but
between
nobody.
What? Sorry.
Koya mats.
What are that?
They are big mats which you put stones on, and they put the fruit in between these two mats, and the two stones sit there for 2 weeks. And by the time the 2 weeks are finished, all the juices oozed out of the mats. That's how it used to be done.
2 weeks seems like a bit of an extension of the 24-hour rule.
Yeah. And the first pressing gave you the good oil. The second pressing gave you the not so good oil. The third pressing gave you lampante, which was the lamp oil, not fit for human consumption.
Yeah, right.
So you would take the oil off as it's getting pressed. The old times.
I think that's the stuff my mum bought.
Yeah. Nowadays we don't press, we mill. It's a centrifuge. It's a centrifuge. It's a centrifuge. It passes through a crusher.
Okay.
So you feed within 24 hours. You get them. You stick them through some water. You pour them down a chute. They go into a hammer mill, and it crushes them. And it turns them into. It looks like a porridge. It really looks like a porridge mix.
Yeah.
And that porridge mix is slowly mixed like a mixer, and then it is spun at high speed, a centrifuge. And it separates. The oil sits on the top.
Yeah.
The water sits next. And the vegetable mass sits next.
Yeah. Okay.
And you've got about 2% oil, and you've got about
and
15
why
to
do they
20%
do it that
oil.
way? Is it higher extraction rates, or is it just more efficient? Or
It's
is
more
it
efficient,
everything?
and it stays clean. It keeps the hygiene and gives you a higher quality.
So you get better quality from this.
Much better by using the mill. So everything now is centrifuge. It's all milled. Okay.
Excellent. So, we grow olives, we harvest them, we mill them, we extract the oil from them, and then how do we get from that to what's in here?
You then settle them. You put them into a tank, or even though you have now milled it and separated the oil.
You say them, you mean the oil?
Yeah, them is the kilograms of olives. And you've now got this oil which has come out through the spout, and you've now got it in your tank.
And the skins are still in that?
No, that's the vegetable mash. That's gone. That's gone. That's our waste.
Yeah.
That's what they call pumice. It's a waste. We send it back to the farm for compost.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the farm for compost. 95% of everything that comes in goes out as compost.
Yes.
Okay.
And compost is very important, kids, if you're talking about agricultural product. I mean, we laugh, ha, 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 but it's quite important.
Okay. So we've now got the 5%, which is the oil. And it's even though you've milled it and you've separated it out as finely as you can, you've used all your skill, etc., in that mix, it's a fruit juice, remember? Olive oil is a fruit juice.
Yeah.
It's one of the few oils that comes from...
juice at some point, yeah. So I'm going to interrupt you the whole
No,
time.
you must do.
Yeah, so out of 100 kilos of olives, how much oil at this point are you getting?
If you've got, it depends upon...
In the perfect situation...
that's the difference. It's the same as grapes. If you've got an oil olive like a Frantoia or a Corretino...
I want nuance, Derek. I want an answer, bro.
25%.
There we go.
25%.
Yeah.
If I've got a mission olive, which is 80% of the olives planted in this valley, I've only got 12%.
Yeah.
If I've got a Manzanilla olive, I've only got 4%. So it depends upon my olive. And if I've got green olives, I've got half the percentage I will get from ripe olives.
I've got a million questions. I've literally got 1 million questions for you. Sorry.
Okay. So now I've got this oil. What I've got to do is, because it's a fruit juice, it's got fruit sediment and it's got water in it still. So I've got to leave it for a week in a tank.
How much sugar's in there?
There's no sugar.
No sugar.
Olive is unique, and it's the only fruit without sugar. It doesn't
right.
ferment. It doesn't ferment. You can't make an alcohol out of olives. No matter, and lots of people have tried.
Yeah.
There's no sugar in
So
olives.
there's no preservation process needed.
Not needed because there's no sugar in there. And then, so I've got to let it settle for a week. And what happens is the water comes down to the bottom because oil sits on the top of water. So in the bottom of my settling tanks, I just keep on opening it every couple of days, and I'll tap the water until the oil rises. Until I've got rid of all the water, I'm only running oil. Then my oil has settled. Then I've got to pass it through a filtration process to remove the fruit sediment, because the fruit sediment goes rancid.
What is the fruit sediment? What is?
It's the olive oil. It's the stuff.
What is it made up of?
It's the olive flesh, the flesh of the olive. So even though you've spun it and there's still elements of that, like all fruit juice. You do it with an orange to make orange juice. You've got fruit sediment in your juice.
I hope that everyone's finding this as intriguing as I am, because I'm bewitched by Derek and his olive oil. No, but it's super interesting. I mean,
It's fascinating.
I use olive oil every day, and all these processes. Most of these processes are unknown to me. It's a really interesting situation.
Then you've got to put it through filtration paper, because you've got to remove that fruit. The fruit goes rancid. You cannot put the fruit onto a retail shelf.
Didn't we just remove the fruit from the last process?
Yeah, but you've got sediment. You still got sediment in it. You still got, even when you do
it's just finer.
The finer stuff. It's like the mulch you get in an orange juice.
Martin broke through the bullshit and said it's bits and pieces.
It's a little,
so you're not mic'd up, so I have to
And then you've got
and then we get to this.
Then we get to this
liquid here.
This is a medium. This is a,
can I ask a couple of questions
please,
before
please,
we get
please,
into
please,
it?
please.
I'll taste it. Okay.
Are you just putting off drinking it? Because
No. I'm genuinely interested.
It's a fruit juice.
No,
I drink
I've
it.
lined up 3.
It's a fruit juice.
I'm not
I drink
playing
it.
around here.
I drink it every morning.
I like olive oil. No, I'm genuinely interested here. Aging of it. We've heard about aging of wine, olive oil. It seems like drink it fresh is, or use it fresh is better, or?
2 big differences between wine and olive oil. Olive oil, you only taste its effect with food. You don't drink by itself. Wine, you drink by itself. Okay, you drink it with food, but you can drink wine by itself. Olive oil, you can't. And the other thing is, wine improves with age. Olive oil goes softer and decreases in age. After 2 years, olive oil is still cooking oil, but it no longer has health benefits. Because remember, the health benefits are given by the fruit component. And fruit after 2 years actually dies.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you've got 2 years. If you store it correctly, and that's the trick of this.
And what does storing correctly actually mean in olive oil terms?
Olive oil hates air and it hates light. It oxidizes on both. And oxidizes is a fancy term for going rancid.
So I should have drunk both of these already. Is that what you're saying? These bad boys
people
should have been taken care of.
People have gotten onto the idea of using dark glasses, dark bottles, because that stops the light from getting in. But people haven't worked out that.
Or you can pour it on potatoes and then it gets eaten straight away.
That one had me going for a while. Let me get back to where I was. But with air, even in a bottle, there's a column of air on the top of the bottle.
Yes.
And that
for the ullage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that will start oxidizing the top part of your olive oil.
But only if that's air, though. If you insert, like when you bottle wines, guys, you don't put air in there, do you? What do you put in there?
Air.
Nitrogen.
No, in a bottle.
Yeah.
Okay. With olive oil, it's air. You'll find that.
Idiots.
We've got lots to learn from the wine people.
Yeah, they need to reassess their shit. Yeah.
But the most amazing thing is to find these people who buy, and I'm
5 litre on this?
5 litre on a tin, and they're getting it nice and cheap because I think it's 5 litres.
Yeah.
The trouble is, it's got a column of air in it. Every time you decant it to put into a bottle, put in your table, you let more air bubble through it. So by the time, and you're going to have it for months. So by the time you get halfway through your 5 litre tin, you are drinking rancid olive oil.
It 100% depends on how many potatoes you're eating.
The argument is if you're not going to finish. The argument is if you're not going to finish the olive oil you've bought within 3 weeks, buy it in a vacuum. Because if it's long, we will not bottle or put into a bottle olive oil that we're not going to sell that month.
Yeah.
Because you're offering bad product.
Okay.
This keeps it in a vacuum. It's a pop sock inside here. It's a silverfish inside here. And the silverfish keeps things in an absolute vacuum. No matter how much you're tapping off, you're getting no air in here. This is exactly the same way I store it for 2 years in my cellar. In a tank with a floating lid that doesn't allow air to get into it and doesn't allow light. You're getting the same benefit from. So I can actually, at the beginning of the year, I can bottle all of my olive oil as long as I keep it in this.
Just another question. I see that on your olive oil, you've got the vintage there. Is that a requirement when it comes to bottling, or because I don't see that on the shelf when you?
It's a requirement.
So hang on, Martinez is Sarah Martinez Maras Lambrecht Postlenberg is asking that. Is asking about the vintage on the bottles, and is that a requirement, or
it's a requirement by the South African olive oil industry that you put the season of harvest on here, because 18 months to 24 months afterwards, it is no longer extra virgin olive oil. So it's not from when you buy it, it's from the time of harvest. So you should always have the harvest. You should always have this green thing saying South African, and you should always have the year of harvest. Those are your two checks for quality on olive oil.
Okay, Derek, we love you. We love your passion. We love your. But how do we taste olive oil? How do we know we've got the real deal?
You talk to me quite a bit, and while you're talking to me, you keep your hand over the top and you warm it up in your hand, and then you talk.
Warm it up?
Yes, because you want to release the aroma.
Why do we have to warm it up?
The nose of the olive oil is very important.
Okay.
The smell. So we talk a little bit and we hold the top and keep it warm. And you must understand that.
Do we whisper some shit tips like to?
It always works with olive oil. Sweet things. None of your Afrikaans.
Yeah, my Afrikaans.
Australian blasphemous language.
Yeah.
You talk gently to our olive oil.
One Afrikaans person got seduced by me. But that's 100% more than I thought would happen. So I'm not sure the olive oil is going to get.
And then you lift your hand and you smell, and you should straight away pick up the aroma. People say grass, and that's what fruit of olive oil smells like. But the really guys with the good nose, and I haven't got the good nose, they can smell. This is van Toyer.
What kind of grass?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds it might incriminate me.
Or Clint's grass.
Mode grass.
Durban.
Mode grass. Mode grass. Mode grass.
Not mode Durban poison.
Okay. And I've been told that this is a sign of antioxidants. So it's a healthy.
It's a sign of phenols.
Healthy.
Yes,
healthy
which creates the antioxidants.
Yeah.
It's the prophenols in the oil, which is the greenness. When you cut grass, you get that same polyphenol smell. And then olive oil's got a taste profile that is fruit, bitter, and pepper. And it's got a intensity profile of delicate, medium, and intense. So it's got to be all three delicate, or all three medium, or all three intense.
Oh, hang on.
You will often
That's super interesting. So you can't have like subtle nose, but super intense palate. That's bad.
You can taste it. Spanish olive oils that you buy from retail, don't taste them. They are vile.
No, but in terms of olive oil, like culture, it has to be even across the board.
It has to be balanced.
This is super interesting. Yeah.
Balanced.
Yeah.
And you should be able to then. You taste fruit on the tip of your tongue.
Yes.
You taste bitterness on the side of your tongue, and pepperiness. I'm told is a sensation. You taste
the back.
So what you do is you then take it, and it should develop on you. You should start to get the bitter, and the pepper should come. Now I'm getting the pepper. It develops on you. Should be picking up the taste at the back of your throat.
Yeah, there's a bit of spice.
And there should be a clean taste in your mouth. It's not fat. There's no butter. It's clean.
No, this is butter.
And now you start. Now you should start to feel some of the bitter and pepperness coming to the root of your mouth.
No, it's super interesting. I like that.
You taste that. Yeah.
I like the aggressiveness of the olive oil. Like it has a real grip to it.
And that's why you don't use this.
I'm not doing that in the supermarket though. Like when I'm choosing the olive oil. So.
Yeah. And that's why you don't use. This is a medium oil. That's why you don't use a medium oil on salads and baking and light fish, because it tends to dominate. that you want a delicate oil to serve as a foundation for light foods, and you want a medium oil to serve as a filler for spice and tastes on medium and intense foods.
Cool.
So where would you, I mean,
Martin's got a question. You asked the question, I'll repeat it.
so he's talking about a cooking oil. So would that be more to the light or more to the heavy side? And what would be
what oil should you cook with olive oil? So light, medium, heavy?
I get asked this question because every time people think you don't cook with olive oil, you always cook with extra virgin olive oil, always. For the simple reason, extra virgin olive oil is healthy for you and it doesn't break down to the carcinogenous stuff that other seed oils break down to. So even for frying and cheap frying, you use extra virgin olive oil.
Thank you, bye.
I want some loyalty to my oil, please. What's this pouring yourself?
I can play 2 games, mate.
I can't. I'm taking this and going up.
But I did some research about how to taste olive oil.
Sorry, I just want to finish that question. You cook with olive oil the same way you taste. If you're doing a delicate light fish, use a delicate olive oil. If I'm doing a roasted vegetable soup, I'm using a medium. If I'm using game fish and venison, I'm using an intense oil. So you use the same rules. I think the simplest way to understand is that medium olive oil is the same as a white wine in terms of pairing. Intense olive oil is the same as a red wine in terms of pairing, both for cooking and for drizzling.
No, I mean, olive oil is a permanent fixture in my kitchen. And,
extra virgin olive oil, please. Olive oil is olive oil. Extra virgin is the only important thing.
What does extra virgin
mean? I know
you
Australians would ask that question.
What does extra virgin mean?
Extra virgin means totally pure. There is no adulteration whatsoever. No adulteration.
And that's why I married an Afrikaans lady.
Yeah.
Guys, I think and the olive oil industry is a young industry compared to the wine industry. We're learning most of our tricks from the wine industry. And what I in particular am starting to learn is what the Swartland guys are teaching us, that the terroir and the time of the season makes a difference every single year to my Frantoia, every single year to my Corotina, and to my Lecino. And I'm only starting to understand the nutty flavors it gives to my Frantoia if it's closer to the Berg River, to the less polyphenols and the less intensity it's getting up on the slopes where the sun is hitting it a lot earlier. And us olive oil people, and that's why your meat, your bread, your oil, and your wine must all come from the same terroir, from the same season. That's your integrity of eating. That's your integrity of health.
Derek.
And that's what the Swartland to me is about. The Swartland is, listening to you guys has been our learning for olive oil big time.
I have a question.
Yes.
So on Wednesday, we were, part 3, we were at Alice Valora.
I've pressed these olives too.
Yeah. And young Andrea Molyneux asked a question about which olive oil from the Swartland is best for wrestling in.
For what?
For wrestling in.
It'll be medium, low.
Taking a good look at.
Not necessarily her.
No, I'm thinking. I'm thinking of a husband. I would prefer to use an intense.
Just in general.
Tell her not to worry too much about the intensity of the oil. Tell her to worry about which pips she should be splitting while she's beating something to death in the olive oil. And
Derek, thank you very much for the.
I do want to say thank you to the Swartland guys. You are teaching us olive oil people a lot, just listening to your innovativeness, and we're learning and we're trying to translate it into the oil as well.
Is olive oil better than Italian olive oil?
I'll mate with the headphone with no microphone is asking what's the difference? He's asking about Italian olive oil versus South African olive oil, and which is better.
A Calilo or a Swartland winemaker in Italy making olive oil that's been doing it for years is producing magnificent olive oil. As a general rule of thumb, University of California study, 40% of Mediterranean olive oil is pressed rotten. Because they have smaller farms and they pick from Monday to Friday, the stuff that they picked on Friday when they take it to the mill's fine, but
Derek,
the Monday, Tuesday...
Just answer the question, mate.
Our oil's better. 95% of our oil, 95% of our oil is extra virgin. And Swartland is better than, yeah.
So where in the Cape, apart from your farm, which is amazing, what climate suit olive grove production, the actual plant? What are we looking for? Is it the exact same things we're looking for vines?
You are, except that you'll find that and there's the perfect example. If he's got the water allocation, it's gone to table grapes. The next water allocation has gone to wine grapes. The next water allocation has gone to fruit. The next water allocation has gone to olives. So therefore, we're the bottom end of the water story, where there is water. So you find that most olive farmers in South Africa are not olive farmers, they're wine farmers, they're grape farmers, or they're citrus farmers. Why olives fills that gap in April, May, June between wine grapes and citrus. And so all grape farmers grow olives, but they will never admit to being an olive farmer. So there are very few fully olive farmers in the country. But I think that has taught us more because we are growing it and learning together with the wine. I think it's better for the olives to be grown with wine on the same tenor, on the same land. I think the mix is perfect.
I've got a final question. How do you remove olive oil stain from underwear?
How do we, what? Sorry. How does Martin how does Martin take his olive oil stains out of his underwear?
I think by not repeating the circumstances that got them in there in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, burn it, bro. Yeah. This is getting loose, so I think we should wrap up. Is that? I want to say.
Sanlam, say thank you to Sanlam.
Oh, I have to say, Sanlam. Santam. Sorry, this is not my job. They're great. They're awesome. They do some good things. Santam is landbouw. Beautiful Afrikaans.
Guys, we must say that because without them, through COVID and with people not being able to market and sell their stuff, without their sponsorship, they have kept us going as an olive and wine route. We say thank you very much to Santam.
Well,
they've kept us employed. They've kept our marketing going. They've kept our route going.
I'm glad that Derek got emotional and stood up there.
They were very important. At heart, what I had to pay this year.
I want to say a quick few thank yous to Stefan Rabi and his beautiful wife Anzel for the production of tonight, and that's a really subtle Santam logo you've got going on there, bro. I'd like to say thank KFC for my lockdown board on the videos. Tinus Kriya for putting everything together and being the master of subtlety and of patience and of control he is. Without him, this wouldn't have happened. Thank you very much to all of the producers who are kindly donating their time and their wine to do this event or series of events. Who have I forgotten? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you to you.
Thank you to me for being such a generous host. Thank you for the guys and girls who are watching, who bought the packets and drank the wine and listened to our stories, i.e. cuck. No, we're not saving lives. We're having a good time, and I hope you've had a good time at home as well. We've had an immensely enjoyable experience out here. It's been 6 days of in the Swartland, all across different producers. I thought I knew the Swartland before this. I didn't know that, and I know a lot more now about the Swartland. So coming across producers like the guys at Org de Rac who produce 3,000 bottles, but they're farming thousands of hectares of their own. They don't buy a grape. And then they've got Craig and people like Jürgen and Martin who are doing really small production wines. Every wine has its merits. There's a reason why I do this, and it's not because they pay me an extraordinary amount of money. It's because I believe in what they're doing. In short, I really think the wines from the Swartland are leading the way in South Africa. Not to say there aren't great wines elsewhere in South Africa, but as a unit, these guys have really set the bar very, very high. And it's making everyone else really assess what they're doing, reassess what they're doing. And so that goes to the growers who haven't been on this video, the winemakers who have been on this video, the guys who do the bottling, the guys who do the scoffling, the guys who drive the tractor, the guys who drive around eating KFC like me. We all play our part. So thank you very much for listening over the last 4 episodes. We really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed the wines. I certainly have, and I'm going to enjoy a few more before I go home. And yeah, thanks very much. And I hope you have a good night. Thanks very much. Cheers.